Can it be that it was all so simple? Before wars were cold and Cuba had missiles, rain dancers performed to the rhythm of Emmett's whistle. 9 numbers track better than the Indian. Towers of Babel in Metropolis, we living in schemers, systems, algorithms, and patterns. They got us figured out like your favorite uncle's magic. Embarrassed, he throws both hands up like his hat. It got shot 41 times. I'ma do almanac it, a cum laude and studies of black magic. Verse sorties with slingshots, pretending they automatic. Gangs building, destroy, pretending it's mathematical. Killing one another, did the math and subtract it. So since we on the subject, homeschool your kids. Priorities of politicians and Latin around the pyramids. You get there later. My common denominators for now know you a fraction of whole numbers that's greater. To unify the disenfranchised, we need knowledgeable educators. Knowledgeable educators. Knowledgeable educators. Knowledgeable educators. See what I did? That rendition of repetition is an age-old practice used by great mystics. Symbols and repetition. Symbols and repetition. Symbols and repetition. Symbols and repetition. So when you see color codes, hear the word terror, the conscience starts to listen. The chakras in your body start to tension. The matrix ain't right through the simultaneous glitches. What you do? I overstand. Alright. And what you do? I overstand. Alright. Tell them more. IMF directors arrested on Trump charges. That's pertaining my food, so I move more lethargic. I move like Bobby Fischer, grow food in my own garden. Media outlets push the gay agenda so the population's down like temperatures in winter or buildings in September. And history repeats itself, but you never remember. RFD chips in the skin soon come. No money on consignment. Inky and the Nil, ISIS and the Cyrus. A nuke around the skies with no signs of any pilot. My ignorance and violence running rampant like a virus, so I keep my own calendar, mood on my own timing. Psychic on steroids, moving in alignment with my zodiac and numbers. The blueprint of design I have defined. Why I overstand like radiation clouds out in Japan. Am I my brother's keeper? Well, hot damn if I am. A funny way of showing it, or maybe it's him. He got a funny way of knowing it. Niggas getting money got a funny way of blowing it. Better check my resume. Everything you got a funny way of owning it. But I'm a different pedigree, like 5%er with the principles of Christian God. Fridays 1 o'clock, Juma at the local mosque. When evening comes, I shut it down. Twitter told Shabbat. Know ye not that we are gods. Oh man. You know, education is the key. I don't know. It seems like we're going backwards. You like everything watered down, huh? You don't want to discipline yourself to learn, huh? I can dig it. You'll be in the dark. I got it. It's never cool to be a fool, homie. Not understanding, not being educated. It's a weakness. You are the sucker. Looking at me funny. Good morning, everybody. I was trying to get the music for you guys. I'm going to give it out free on my Discord. But they just told me I had to, it was too powerful, right? Because I got a few albums out there. I got like 5 albums that I'm going to give to you for free. It's going to be on the Discord. Good morning, everybody. See Santiago's in the building. I see a new face. Well, I don't think that's new, actually. I've seen Sherry before, but I haven't seen her in a while. Sherry Cameron, good morning to you. Hoodies TMZ, good morning to everybody. I'm excited to talk about this today. Believe it or not, I don't like the part where, the father's always got to be the bad guy, right? And then the mothers get to be like the friend of the child. And when she
spazzes out on the child. Usually, right? In my experience. It's not like when the father has to discipline, right? And a lot of times, especially in this household here, I gotta just keep that role, right? I'm the They could be friends, right? Even though I tell my wife, you're not your job is not to be our daughter's friend. But they friends. They best friends. And she loves her father, but I don't get to play that role, right? Because it just has to be a consistent disciplinary in the house. And somebody has to be the bad guy. And then I have to be that guy. So the one of the shows that we was doing, actually the last show that we did, I didn't expect a lot of people to stay, and a lot of people didn't stay because I'm bringing something up that is different from what you learn. Your whole life, it was given to you. It has sentiment, and it's more sentiment, I know, than anything else. But at the end of the day, it is a found belief for what you believe in. And I've lost good friends over this topic that I brought up the other day, which is the topic of is Jesus who they said they are, right? People don't like to talk about it, or I'll talk about anything else except that, right? Because you're not gonna question my faith in this. That I'm definitely not questioning your faith. If anything, I think you believe. You- I'm not questioning your faith at all. Um, Living here on earth with you, having been a part of the church, and if you tell me what denomination you are, I got a good understanding what you was told, right? Because chances was I was told the same thing at some point because I was sitting right there with you, right? Went through the classes, came to the Bible study classes, heard the sermons. Unless y'all was doing another church service after Jamel left, right? Like, oh, he's going now. Let's really talk about. Unless y'all was doing that, I pretty much got a found understanding of what you was told. And the reason I bring it back to you is not to, I don't win a prize, right? I don't win a I'm right prize. I don't do that. I don't even feel, I hate being right. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, damn, you want me to get this message to them? That's crazy, Lord. Give it to him yourself. No, 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 Jamel. You give the message. Your whole life, you've been doing that. You heard that music I just did? I didn't do that last week. I maybe did that music over 10 years ago. What I did with that song that came on at the beginning of my show, I did that song over 10 years ago. It sounds like I did it yesterday by the things I'm talking about. By the things I'm talking about, you thought I did that song yesterday. No, 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 my man. No, my man. I've been grooming you for this message your whole entire life. You've been looking for it. You stayed true to what your message was, right? Anything you put out is the radiance of the Most High in mind. The only thing you ever wanted was the truth and the knowledge. That's all you wanted. Now, the truth may change depending on, the truth is dynamic because when you get new information, you have to consider this, right? I have to consider it. Some people, they are stoic. They get new information, they dash it away. No, 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 never mind that. We already set in our ways. That's crazy. I don't know if that's truly living down here on earth. I don't know if that's whoa, that's a way. That's something. To bat away new information because it may oppose what you already have built up with the limited information that you have. Now that's dangerous, if I can say anything. That is dangerous. Limited information. Today, we're gonna go over. I don't know how many of you was told this, right? And I thought about Nikola Tesla when I found this out that the energy is all around us. Now, the other day I brought up Jesus Christ, and then I went into the mathematical thinking, right? Because 1 plus 1 is 3, right? And I put up the dots to illustrate the circles, right? And then you start with a base, which is the first circle. Then you add something. It could be anything. That's your second one. And then you get a result. And then when you look at it, you have 3 circles up there, 3 dots, right? And that's your mathematical formula. That's your rubric for 1 plus 1 equals 3. If anybody wants to get into a conversation about that. Now, I will go back over that today just to reiterate, because we're going to do more mathematical thinking. When you look at it overall, many of us are almost trained to, even though there are certain customs like voodoo and all these things that people look down on, right? Without a full understanding of it. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They look down on it. But then they themselves don't believe in things that are much more different, right? It's not much more different. People will think they'll get cursed by things easily. It's you kind of believe in the same thing, beloved. It's just that your perception of it is a little bit different because maybe you have different statues, maybe you have different visuals, right? And they're using things a little bit unorthodox from where you're standing, right? Skulls and chicken bones and all this. And you're like, oh, that's crazy stuff. But then what you believe is not that much more different. You may go to a sculpture that was made in a factory by underpaid workers. Hmm? Made in a factory, a ceramic sculpture made by underpaid workers that was painted and glossed and sold to you for money, for the exchange of money, and they gave it to you, and then you went home and you put this idol of Mary right on your little desk in your altar, whatever like that, or your altar, your porcelain uh statue of Jesus or the painting, and you hung it up there, and then you do your own seance, do you not? Yeah, so everybody got a little bit of something, right? So my point in bringing this up is, instead of relying so much on the mystical and the divination of things, not that they don't exist and not that I don't rely on these things. That's not what I'm saying to you, right? I want to bring balance today, right? A little bit of balance, right? Because there's just some answers. We could go for knowledge, but we're not going to get all the knowledge on this earth in this lifetime, right? Especially at today's rate. Oh my God, there's so much distractions out there, right? And there's a distraction category for every demographics. So right now in the black urban community or the black community, the hip hop community, whatever you want to classify yourself, there's a little thing going on between Drake and what's this guy's name? Kendrick Lamar. It's fun. You understand? Little rap beef going on. So I could sit back and I just look at the algorithm go, right? and I just watch everybody, right? And everybody's trying to capitalize off the energy, the momentum of what they're talking about, right? This goes towards groupthink, right? It's a subsidiary of groupthink, in my opinion, right? That's what's going to get me the like. This is this is what is the term? Behavioral engineering. This is behavioral engineering 101. 101, right? When we race to our computers, when we race to this phone, and then we say, okay, what's going to get the likes today? What's going to get the likes? What's going to get the likes? Then you say, oh, that's jumping right now. I'm going to jump on that. Boom, boom, boom. And then they go, and then you got 50,000 people that's talking about it. And whoever the wizards are at YouTube just sit back and laugh. And they say, this is amazing. This is amazing that it works like this. It's that easy, right? That's just one category, right? And you'll see videos that's in the hundreds of thousands of views for this one content creator, right? You may take a DJ Academics. His first hour, he gonna have 73,000 people tapped in to that. And then my problem is the fact that I seen two different contrary, and I'm almost afraid to show it, right? I seen two contrary news releases yesterday about the results of C19. There was one company who's a rogue company. They're a big company, but they rogue. They went left. They went somewhere else. They like to, they want to, they capitalize off of telling you what's really out there, right? That's their thing. They're not no small outfit either. I don't know what I don't know what the AI is listening for. That's why I'm talking really cryptically. You understand? That's where we at on Earth. AI is listening to it. I want the rest of my show, the message. I want y'all to get the show. I want y'all to get the food because we're going to talk about free electricity. But I'm gonna help you understand how this free electricity works. That's the thing. Was this why Nikola Tesla was left for dead? Right? When I explain to you, you're gonna be like, holy smokes, that's like it's simple, but it's right there. But it's things they don't teach us at the same time. Well, let me finish cooking. Um Two different, so this company, this, let me show it to you. I show it to you. I don't want to say it. And they want me to pay, and I'm not gonna pay for it right now. Give me a second. I'm gonna show you who they are. There we go. Okay, I just wanted you to see before they came up with. Let's go back. All right, cool. I'm gonna show you something. All right. Now you see the name of this publication, right? Now I'm gonna refresh the page, or I'm gonna go back rather, and then what I want you to see is gonna be up there for like 3 seconds, and then they're gonna ask me for money, and I probably will pay it later. It's just that I'm in the middle of a show, and I'm not gonna waste time doing that. So watch this. You see that? Read that, right? One more time. One more time. All right. So then that's this company right here. That's just this company. Then I found like four other publications, right? Media outlets that specifically went against what this company is saying. I started to read. Now, if you're going to be a person, you can't be biased, right? You have to take the information and at least consider it, right? So I started to read theirs because theirs was free and they wasn't trying to charge me to listen to it. But I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. If y'all watch my show, y'all know I go on the NIH website all the time and I'm reading new developments of things. I go to the CDC. I already know what the CDC has confessed. I already know what they confessed. They confessed that maybe they're definitely over a year ago. It's 2024. They confessed that over a year ago. And maybe not in their own words, right? So what they did is they said they knew of the side effect. They said they knew of it, and then they said what it was. They named it. They called it what it was. As I started to read, the other people that say no, no, this doesn't happen. They're saying that that was never a side effect, and I say, yo, what type of journalists are this? Who are these people? It's cool. You know who these people are. Keep on doing what you're supposed to do, right? But this is more evidence and this is more confirmation that obviously they don't want people, they just want people high up on dopamine. They just want them staring at the lights, jibber jabbering about nothing at all, right? For days. Drake and whatever happened to P. Diddy, right? But here's the answer to that. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back, right? So it's just so many they've improved on their weaponry when it comes to distraction. And they say, one or two is not good enough. Let's get like 50, right? And then the people in the little think tank is like, 50? You're wilding. He's like, nah, I don't think I am. Let's get like 50 distractions parallel going on to one another. Everybody take a case and work it. Everybody there gets promoted to manager of a product. What is the product? Distraction. They're given all the full resources that they need to run that product. This way, things don't have to get mistangled, right? This is pure project management. By the way, I love project management. And it's evident when you really just sit back, smoke your spliff, drink your tea, drink your coffee, sit back, do your breathing exercises, sit back, watch the world. Just watch the world. Just, uh-huh. I see. I see. See, I look for the things that are not there. That's my problem. I'm looking for things that are not there. It's a Zelda hunt in my head. But when I find it, that's when I get my prize. I'm like, oh, snap, you was looking for something, you found it. Now, this game could be dangerous. Don't be doing this with your significant other, looking through their phones and all that, because you may find something that you didn't want to see. Be easy. Easy, now, man. I'm talking from a perspective, just on this earth and the time, what we're dealing with, right? We're up against a strong opposition. Splashing's in the building. Face Mark. We about to talk about it. We're about to talk about it. All right. Now, if you gotta go for any reason and you want to go catch this later, yeah, I know how I do it. Where we at right now? 25 minutes. check somewhere after an hour, and then that's when I'll probably get somewhere around hour 15, hour 20, anywhere between then. I'm going to start talking about the electrical current that is all around us. We're going to start to break that down. But before we get there, I would like to revisit something. Oh, and Splashing, give them the Discord again because I'm gonna put my music in the Discord today. Right? I'm gonna put like 3 different albums in the Discord today for everybody. I have an album called The Gift of Magicians and the Purpose of Prophets. That is my very first album. That's my very first hip hop album. I did an R&B album before that. I'm gonna give you the R&B now album too. I'll give it to you today. So you get The Gift of Magicians and the Purpose of Prophets. You'll get Wheel of Fortune, and you'll get For the Memorial. So, and you'll get my poetry album, right? So you get 5 albums today when I get off this live, and then it'll be in the Discord. And that's a fact. All right. Now, what I would like to do is you guys know how much I look up to Billy Carson. Um, he's a little bit older than me. I like to say he's my mentor, even though he doesn't know who I am. And I don't know that. I don't know that. He definitely sent me a happy birthday last year. Bugged me out, right? I'm like, okay, I don't know what type of machine he running over there, but son definitely knew it was my birthday. But I thought because I'm on a text group, I'm on a group text. He sends me a text, but he's not just sending it to me, he's sending it to the group every day. And I don't know what he knows. You understand? I know that's Hocus's man. Hocus is mine, man. I don't know. People talk, bro. Shout out to the brother Sean Williams from the Socialite Academy in Brooklyn. I was down there building with the God the other day. Great brother. You understand? Beautiful soul. Had no idea how, you don't really know what a person who a person is and what their background is, this, that, and the third. So as we begin to talk, he has this beautiful and amazing sneaker academy down there, right? With the illest sneakers and the history of sneakers. It's nuts, right? So I'm fortunate to be down there with him and we're building. And I let him know that another person I really look up to, right? Who is Jamel Shabazz, the legendary photographer. And I let him know, like, yo, Jamel Shabazz be watching me. He does, right? Jamel said, I feel like I'm in some type of initiation phase. With Jamel Shabazz, he don't say too much. He just sit there and watch me, right? And he'll like my stuff. He'll comment once in a while, but he don't do too much. He just want to see what I'm gonna do. For I'm gonna get out here and act a fool before I'm initiated. So anyway, the brother Sean Williams, he was like, "Oh yeah, Jamal Shabazz, that's my man. He came and knighted me with this, and then he showed me the original piece that Shabazz gave to him. I'm like, yo, that's big, son. Jamel Shabazz gave you an original piece. Oh, that's your man. So here we got this brother here that's now mentoring me. He's like, listen, Jamel, never mind what those numbers say. Whenever those numbers say 5, figure is 13. If they say 20, you figure 50 people is watching you. He said people are watching you that you have no idea are in the bushes. They just sit there and they watch, right? So shout out to the brother. I'm in good hands with these people. Splash said Billy Carson got the poker face. He might have the hoodie. He definitely might have the hoodie. Right? I gotta fix the reason I'm giving out my music. We're about to get into this, but the reason I'm giving out my music is I went to go check out my Etsy account, and apparently something went wrong. Etsy banned me for some reason, but it's not a lifetime ban. They said I'll be back in July, so I don't know what I did. I have to figure out what happened there that they did that, right? But that's where my music was at, and that's where the clothing, the poker face clothing was at. So we have to I thought it was just good. That's why I wasn't paying it any mind. And it turns out it is not good. Etsy needs to talk to me. So I need to figure out this week what's going on with the Etsy account. And then once we fix that, all the merch and everything will be back up over there. So I apologize to everybody. All right, let's get into this conversation first. Before we get into who we are as a people, right? And because we weren't told the truth, and I'm going to tell you that today, and then I'm going to show and prove today. I'm not just going to say that. But a lot of this stuff I already knew before Billy Carson said it because I've been studying for quite a few years myself. Since like 20 years old, 19 years old, I've been doing my own studying and tracking down my own facts, right? So it's not that I take everything Billy Carson says and I run back and regurgitate it to you. That's not what's happening, right? I told you guys Coolio gave me Behold the Pale Horse when I was, may he rest in peace, when I was like 18. So I've been on a hunt for the truth since that young. Had the book and was out here just searching for knowledge since 18. I'm 46 now. So you could do the math. It's not, but I just look up to this brother, very successful, very knowledgeable. I like how he's moving out here. You understand? And also shout out to Greg Braden. Now, as he's talking on this, I just love the conversation that's going on. So I said, okay, let me react to this conversation that's going on because he does build on the Catholic Church and Jesus Christ, right? And let's go ahead and break it down. And he's going to break down some things that I swear when I was young, I was like, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And then as I got older, I'm like, because we were missing knowledge. That's why it didn't make sense. You're missing a piece. Imagine trying to finish 1,000-piece puzzle with 150 pieces missing. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. And it's not done. It looks ridiculous, this monstrosity before you. All right. So let's take a listen here to Billy Carson, and I forgot this guy's name, but that doesn't. There's no disrespect to him. Obviously, I'm subscribed to his channel, so we'll get his name in a second.
To hear your thoughts on it, is that this has little to do with Jesus. This entire
very little.
This entire thing has such little to do with Jesus's teachings, Jesus Christ the man, and has so much to do about their own power, their own influence, and maintaining that power and influence over the world. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, you hit it on the head. So, the Catholic religion has literally nothing to do with truthfully achieving a higher sense of consciousness or Christ consciousness. It's really all about them. And even like, for example, the Pope or the priest of the Catholic Church, wherever you are in the world, that's supposed to be the conduit. That's supposed to be God walking in the flesh. Now, we know that we are all gods and God is us, but they take it to another level where they truthfully believe that they're the actual creator of the universe walking around in a mindset of domination, not collaboration. And so that's where it goes really south. And then a lot of their rules and laws and their their traditions are just all about, generating revenue and money. For example, you go in and you admit that you did something wrong, and now they're going, well, you got to pay a penance to this, and you pay this penance, and that's supposed to, rid you of your sin.
What say you, Catholic people? Does it work like that? Does it work like that? Can you destroy a little boy's life with one decision and think you can ask for a penance and that will forgive it for that week? And then you do it again and then just pay your penance? Is that rational? Is that logical? What say you?
So from the mindset that they've established is, I can go out here, I can drink, I can hang out, I can have sex with anybody I want outside of marriage. I can violate all the rules of quote unquote Christianity, as long as I come in here and talk to this guy behind this invisible box, and then I can just pay some money, and all of my sins will be absolved, and I'm good to go and do it all over again. So I can do this once a week. So now I don't have to answer for any of my consequences. I can literally run rough and ragged. I can run, like this wild, wild west on the streets, and then I can curse people out, whatever I want, and I can just go and talk to this guy. So they've created a system where they generate revenue and money off of beguiling people into thinking that they can actually absolve themselves of their own responsibility of their own actions by paying this extra money out. Just admit.
We're going to have a conversation now. Good morning. Salute to GT and basketball in the building. We're going to have a conversation now. Now we're going to have a conversation, right? Because I told people I got rid of my religion. I don't need no religion, right? I'm good. Like, I don't need any of those religions. I'm good. You know why I said that? You know why I made that decision? Because I said, who do you want to be, Jamel? Who do you want to be? Like, let's just talk to myself. I'm saying this to the mirror. Who do you want to be, bro? You need a religion to make you that person? Or do you just need to make up your mind and start moving like that and commit to being that person? Right? Just, pardon yourself, just practice being that person. Right? And right now, you're nowhere near that person who you want to be. Right? This is what I'm saying back then. I've gotten way closer now. Right? But when I first started, I was not nowhere close. Right? But I said, I don't want to be this person forever. Right? I just want to be. So just be somebody. Just be the person you want to be, bro. And you wake up every day and I don't need to be scared into going to hell for me to act right. You understand? This is a personal desire. This is your purpose. Who do you want to be? When you fall off, you put yourself, when you did something that was outside of what you wanted, the scope of what you wanted to do and be and be represented as. When you step outside of that, you redeem yourself. You don't need to go to know another man and be like, yo, what? And he going to tell you what to do to get you. All right, man, just, what I'm saying, pay 3 penances and you be, what? When he himself could be fired from that position, he don't even got a stable position. Any day he could be shipped to Poland. Like, nah, we don't got you over here no more, beloved. We shipping you up out of here. We reassigning you. So who are you really talking to when you go in there? His position is not really that secure.
Hitting something to somebody behind a box.
Another example was I was in Naples, and I went to the catacombs in Naples, one of the catacombs there, and I was talking to the guide, and I go, well, what is this? Like, who owns this? And they're like, oh, anything Christian found. in Italy, it's automatically property of the Vatican. If they just discovered it, it's automatic if it's property.
Yep.
So when they found it, and this is so interesting, when they found it, they called up the Vatican, like, hey, we found these catacombs. We want to kind of open it up to the public and let people tour. And they're like, yeah, sure, do whatever you want. That's fine. No problem. And then a couple of years later, the Vatican's like, oh, they're making some money. So then they went back to him. This is straight from the guide. He goes, yeah, the Vatican, now we have to pay, because, oh, by the way, all the money that is made from the catacombs tickets goes into social programs for the city of Naples, meaning after school programs, arts, things for schools and kids, and social programs. So it's for everybody to know. Once the Vatican found out it needed money, they go, oh, okay, since it's making money now, you need to pay us $3 million a year as a license and 50% of all ticket sales. And I was just like, are you kidding?
$3 million a year is a lot, bro. Especially when you could change lives. This is what I'm saying. There's enough money floating around. There's enough money that was created and is created all the time by these central banks, and enough money generated, especially through religions, right? That could really change some situations. Now, I can't speak on Judaism and Islam that much when it comes to generating money. I can't, right? I don't even have the foggiest idea what Islam does, right? With their money. So I can't speak against any money that is generated. I can't speak good or bad. Like, I don't know. Like, I've never even looked into it, is what I'm telling you. And don't be ignorant in thinking like all money is used for these horrible things that you hear in the media, right? So it's not that at all. Like, I don't even want to put out that type of vibe. That's not where I'm going with this. Judaism, I can't really say what they got going on, but I know a lot of, I could see. What I do know is that about mitzvah is crazy. You understand? When a boy hit 13 years old, and that could change his life. You understand? The gifts that I heard about that people get as a bar mitzvah, it's out there, bro. Somebody, a young kid could easily walk away with $100,000 for his birthday, right? He won't spend it on stupid stuff because that's not how he was trained. And he's used to things, right? But then when he gets married, you're talking about another. Could be anything, right? It could be 50,000 to 400,000, depending on who the circle is, right? That's ill. But that they got it, and you know what I'm saying? They've come together, and it's something when you move as a unit. I'm telling you. If you ever move as a unit, it's almost impossible for anybody to stop you. This is why it is imperative to keep the Black people disfragmented in the United States. Because the moment they really the moment they said, no, enough is enough, you're not going to buy one of us, right? There's always somebody to buy, though. There's always somebody to buy to say, y'all had enough. I do whatever you want. Take whatever you want. Take my soul, take my butt cheeks, take whatever. Just put me out here. Like, just put me to work. I don't want to be here anymore. Right? They're going to find one. The moment we stand together, say enough is enough, then we would take our status, right? We would take our freedom like Haiti did.
Kidding. And then when you walk around the Vatican City, you're just like, there's literally gold on the walls. Are you nothing to do with Jesus?
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's insane. It's insane. You see, the Vatican is its own private kingdom.
Yeah, it's a country. It's a country.
Exactly. They create their own rules and regulations on the fly.
So that's not cap. The Vatican is its own is a country. That's not cap. And Washington D.C. is its own country. That's not cap. Right? Washington D.C. is not a state. Now they try to camouflage it with all type of stuff, the DMV and all this other type of stuff. Never mind what they talking about. Due to knowledge, Washington D.C. is its own country. They call it a foreign entity. You do the knowledge. Come back to me and talk to me.
And they can change a law or a rule tomorrow or in 5 minutes, and then everyone will have to abide by that.
And you know what's funny? I got into a cab in from Vatican City, going back to where we were staying, and the taxi driver, who's a local, we started talking about the Vatican, and boy, he just started tearing them apart. They're like, we have to pay as Italian citizens. We have to pay them every year, even though we don't live in Vatican City. You've got to they pay no taxes. They basically still control Italy behind the scenes. There's absolute power behind the scenes. Yeah. They're like, there was a girl that went missing in Vatican City. The family was still trying to find them, but once you're there, it's gone. You're just gone. It was
people going missing in Vatican City is crazy. It's nuts, bro. Not to laugh. It's just, I'm not laughing because it's funny that this girl went missing. I'm just like, the ridiculousness of what it's contrary to the things that it is supposed to represent. It's crazy splashing.
Fascinating how much power that place has. And let's not even talk about, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, the archives. Archives where the books, the knowledge that they have raped and pillaged for centuries from Alexandria, either before or after it was, going through its thing, and all the libraries. What have you learned about what is in the archives?
In the archives at the Vatican, first of all, it's about 5 miles of archives underground.
Yo, Billy, you my man, bro, but you got to stop using this just for men, bro. You understand? You got to let that joint gray out. You understand? Let that joint grow like a rasta. You know what I mean? That joint gray out. Yeah, man. Don't be afraid to let your joint gray up, man. Let's hear about these archives that the Vatican has held. Archives of knowledge. This is going to be an amazing conversation because we're going to... Wait. Okay, I'm mixing two conversations together. I was about to mix two conversations together. But if you don't know, if you've never studied your Bible, right, the Bible has been edited, and I don't say that funny or maliciously. I'm saying that books have been added and taken away throughout the ages, throughout time, right, as they're building this comprehensive work. Certain books never made it to the final edition. Words have been changed, but we're going to talk about all of that. Stick around.
And very, very secure access. In other words, you can't just go, I'm going to go check out the archives underground. No, you have to be a security cleared, almost top secret cleared based on their standards to get down there. But they have in there so many incredible discoveries, so much knowledge and wisdom that have been.
Now, Billy's talking like this because he has security clearance because he's a contractor, right? He's a contractor, which is a good thing, right? That's a whole different revenue of income if you can get it, right? And it's just steps that you have to take. You can do it, right? Look into how to get government contracts, and you can do it. It helps if you have a little bankroll behind you, so you don't have to do everything yourself. When you have to do everything, the bankroll is usually for like people preparing your application submission for you for a lot of things. Anyway, he has the clearance. That's why he's telling you he's been to the Vatican, and anybody just can't go to the archives, and it doesn't work like that.
Been stolen, literally stolen from all around the world. And of course, the Library of Alexandria, that was a book heist. The fire was a distraction. The real story of Alexandria, it was a book heist. It was a knowledge theft. They stole the knowledge. They left a few books burning here, and then they burned it down to the ground. But the vast majority of the knowledge and wisdom stored at Alexandria was siphoned off and taken to that underground, I call it an underground base at the Vatican.
All right, stop right there. Now, if you go back and you do your history of this time, you would find out that for the most part, you had all these civilizations, and some of them were right next to each other, but then they would have their different religions going on, right? Now, it was something about these mystics, especially Christian magic, right? That had to be powerful at this time. I'm talking about had to be powerful because it was recognized, it was revered. This is why I say, the modern day Christians, you have no idea what you're into, right? I mean, and a lot of times you was born, you don't even know when you got into your religion, right? Because you was Christian as a child, you was baptized, and then your parents just brought you to church every day, and then that's all you really know. You were indoctrinated with this, right? So you just know what you was taught. Now, 25, 30 years, 40 years of that, and then you run across somebody named Jamel Saladin that's trying to tell you different. Of course, he's going to come off like a quack job and an extremist and this, that, and the third. This is why I take the time to really handle you delicately, right? And not like the rest of the people telling you an idiot for believing it. Now, I don't think you're an idiot. I just don't think you were given. I know you wasn't given the truth. I don't think you weren't given the truth. I know you wasn't given the other information. Let's not call it the truth. Let's call it other information that was there, right? Let's call it that. I know you wasn't given it. It is no different from being born in a cave and me telling you from a youth that the shadows that are on the wall that are cast by the fire are the gods. It's no different. When you grow up, that is what you will believe. Because your ancestors told you that, and they wouldn't lie. But their ancestors told them that. And their ancestors told them that because they didn't know. Because this is that never-ending story of until one person is walking around aimlessly one day and makes it out of the cave and realizes, yo, those ain't the gods. What? Yo, beloved, there's all type of things out here in this world. I see my reflection. I seen self in the water. Yo, you know how many people down there in that cave gonna be upset with you? Now, what's easier? To kill this person so he don't contaminate the rest of the population down here, right? And then we move on the way we was moving, right? I had a little position down here, bro. I was the one who opened up the service down here, the ceremonies, the cave ceremonies. You come up here talking this, that, and the third. Now people they want to figure out if you're telling the truth. You telling them, no, I'll take you there myself. Nobody's going nowhere, blood. I'm killing you. How about that part? You'll be dead by the morning. We'll be back to the service before you know it. And now here we are in 2024, and things are starting to unravel. Things are starting to unravel, and people want to know the truth. But wait till I get to the part where electricity is everywhere. You're going to be like, what? Let's go.
Down there also, according to even some Jesuits, are bones of actual quote-unquote alien beings, information about advanced beings that visited this planet, the Anunnaki, according to the Dogon, the Nomo, and the Sumerians call them the Pantheon, call them the Anunnaki Pantheon out of Sumeria. They call them Nitiru out of Africa. They have all these relics and artifacts of these particular people, even out of Greece. They have all this down there. They have information even out of Iraq that shows and proves that advanced races had lived on this planet long before this current civilization here exists. And I'm talking about eons and eons ago, super highly advanced with technologies and capabilities of flight and everything else, weapons of war that existed. All that information is stored underneath the Vatican archives, along with some of the most incredible texts and books and inventions that ever existed on this planet. And they siphon it away, and they're hoarding all of that wisdom and knowledge so that they can keep control and power and domination over the world. And guess what? It's working.
Now, he got a little excited there, a little bit more passion than I wanted him to have. You understand? Because you come off like an extremist and a zealot when you get too passionate, right? So you gotta maintain your heart rhythm. Chill out, Billy. Chill out. You understand? They're gonna see you as a quack job, bro. Just stay calm, beloved. Stay calm. It's a hard thing to do though when you know you were right and no one is believing you, right? Your blood pressure could get up there. It's like, yeah, all right, man. All right.
So that was my next question. The reasoning for all this is if you control the information, you control the knowledge. There can't be if the public is ignorant, it's much more controllable.
Yes. If the public knew that long before Jesus, long before Moses and all these people, supposedly were even born or existed, that thousands of years before them, an advanced race lived on this planet, built an Atlantean global civilization, probably Atlantean interplanetary civilization that had capability of space flight and everything else, and that they most likely genetically modified the existing hominids, which then became Homo sapiens sapien, in order to put us all in slavery and make us do the workload for them. If they knew that, those stories and those...
By the way, you're still doing the work for them. This is why I say you have no idea how old the central bank is. What are you talking about? You have no idea how old the central bank is. We still work for them. Show and prove, Jamel. Well, what is there to show and prove? Don't you have a social security number, beloved? Right? Wasn't you your parents given a birth certificate? Right? Isn't there not a docket number at the bottom of that birth certificate? Was not an internal revenue service created to track all monies earned that is connected to your social security and a tax to be taken from that? Right? Are not potholes still banging out your tires every day? Is the education at the school still not shabby? Right? Where's the money going, beloved? Well, we know corrections is getting overtime, right? This dude was hired at $60,000 a year. However, He walks away every year with 6 figures. How did that happen? Well, overtime. It's a lot of overtime, beloved. What? I wish they put that type of concentration into the prevention of crime, right? We got the best minds and we can't figure this out. Beloved, we don't want to figure it out. Everything's cool. Everybody's making money. Everybody relax. Everybody's making money. We're still worker bees working for them to this day. Control of the people. If you ever seen the book of Eli, all that man wanted in that movie was the book. He said because of the words. He wanted the old Bible is what he was trying to find. Because when you restart a civilization, this is the blueprint to control the people. He knew that was the blueprint. Let's keep listening.
Tales from the Sumerian tablets, the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, the Indian Vedas, Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Egyptian Book of Going Forth by Day, aka the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Enuma Elish and the Seven Tablets of Creation, the Epic of Atrahasis, and the myth of Adapa. If I do all these texts predominantly made up the majority of the Bible, then we would be like, well, what are you guys preaching to us? This is all fake. This is all lies. And we know that in the Emerald Tablets, which is my book compendium with the Emerald Tablets, that the majority of Jesus's teachings in the New Testament come directly from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, which are 38,000-year-old teachings. So they must control and hide and secure evidence of this information.
That is correct. He said 40,000-year-old teachings. That is correct. You heard him right. Oh, you heard him right. Shout out to the Original Man. Original Man is in the building. Original Man says the birth certificate is a surety bond. Well, there it is right there. Just the compound of those two words, surety and bond. Your Social Security number is an account that's registered with the International Monetary Fund. It's called the TDA account. Shout out to the Original Man in the building this morning teaching. The proof is there, beloved. I lie to you not. Let's keep listening, because they're gonna talk, right? All I ask is that people consider new information that may be contrary to what you have known. But if you're happy, right, you're given the choice. You got the red or blue pill, right? You don't have to take the blue pill. You could stay right where you at, right? But this conversation are for those who they did not necessarily have a map to. They feel like something is in their spirit that is like, yo, something's missing. I'm not being told the truth. Then you come over, right? I don't push you. Please, if you're happy where you at, this is not the road. This ain't that girl, Ray. This that boy. You understand? Pause. No ditties. That's a line from Ray, by the way. Just in case you're trying to figure out what. Yeah. Ray Charles was trying. He wanted to get down. Old man was like, oh, I ain't trying to turn you into no junkie, bro. This ain't cocaine. That's what he was saying. This is not cocaine. This is dope. That's what he was saying. It's that Future dog food. It's that dog food Future's always talking about that he sells, right? Every record, Future's on a song talking about he sell dope. You don't sell dope, bro. You make records. You're a horrible poet, right? That makes good sounds over records. You've learned how to use the auto tune to make a good sound. You're a horrible poet that makes good sounds. Your poetry is toxic. Right? But I already told you there's going to be one person that say, I'll do it. I'll sell the people out. So he get out here. He know the children are listening to his music. And what he say? He's out here with guns, right? He's out here. He's always talking that killer talk. Meanwhile, he went to the UK. His man, aka his bodyguard, gets knocked out flat on his face. Future keeps strolling right down the block as if this never happened, right? Never happened. Look back, try to act like he didn't see his man on the floor, nothing. How did that conversation go later on, right? Did he even get paid for that day? Right? When's the last time you spoke to this guy? Did you just send him a quick $2,000 to his cash app and just kind of like blocked him, never talk to him again? Awkward. Right? Let's finish listening.
And this knowledge to keep people basically in this level of ignorance where they can continue to control them and steal their money.
Well, you know what? And this is the weirdest thing. While I was driving around.
Now, if you just tapping in and you tapped it in because of the title, and I will start to talk about the free energy that is all around. It's the free electricity, right? But usually the people that are here know how my shows go, right? The first hour, I'm definitely going to do my own thing, right? I'm just doing my own thing. If you're watching this on the replay or whatever, you might want to skip to 1 hour and 30 minutes because that's when I'm probably going to start to talk about it. But right now, I want to build on this. This is important, right? Because Billy Carson has done comprehensive work and written books on certain things, specifically the Emerald Tablets. Right? I read the Emerald Tablets before Billy Carson. I even knew who Billy Carson was, and back then the Emerald Tablets blew my mind. When I read the Emerald Tablets, I was like, "What are they talking about in here? They talk about spacecrafts?" Right? I remember my mind being like, "Yo, they talk about flying ships in this joint." Now this is supposed to be thousands of years old, and I'm like, "Yo, they had spaceships thousands of years ago." Beloved, what did you think the Bible was talking about with Ezekiel and the wheel in the middle of a wheel? Huh? Chariots of fire. People being taken up in the whirlwind. What did you think they was talking about, beloved? You got to think mathematically. 1 + 1 is 3, beloved. They missing pieces. Now, my purpose was obviously to be reincarnated to come back down here and fill in some of those blanks for you. Right? So, that's what we doing. That's all we doing. Till I'm taking back up off here again. Let's go.
You know, I went to Rome. I was staying in Rome when I went to Vatican City, and then I was down the street from the Colosseum, and I got to see the Colosseum. And you see Rome is everywhere, like Roman, every stuff all over the place. And man, I don't want to sound ignorant, man, but it was the first time when I went to Vatican City and I connected it to Rome. I was like, wait a minute, Roman Catholic Church. I never connected Roman, as in like the Rome Empire, to Catholicism, even though it's always been called the Roman Catholic Church. I just never connected it. And that was the first time I'm like, oh my God, that's right. Constantine. Oh my God, that he's the one that created the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. And they're the ones that sat down and like, okay, let's argue about what really Jesus is. And so they basically built up the mythology in the Council of Nicaea, right?
Yes. The Council of Nicaea came together, built up the mythology. They added to the story. They took from a lot of ancient texts and tablets And then they kind of curated this book, which they want to call it a canonized Bible, right? So they took from here, took from there, this tablet, this scripture, that papyrus, this Nag Hammadi piece. We like this coming out of this text over here. And then they kind of just culminated together and then remixed it, put their own spin on it to make sure that slavery was approved and okay, right? Well, we want to add that in there. Got to make sure the slavery is approved. You know, because people were enslaving each other since back in before the black slaves. I'm talking about in the ancient times, slaves were already going on. Slavery was already going on. It's nothing new. Yeah. And then so you had that. And then, of course, we want to collect a lot of money. So they have to pay us. We got to make sure we got the money. You got to pay, you know what I'm saying? And you got to do the labor and you got to bring the offerings because we ourselves are not going to go out and hunt and grow farms and everything else. So you guys, you're going to have to bring these offerings to us. We want it already cooked, so make sure it's a burnt offering. Make sure you drain the blood. Make sure it's healthy for us. And bring us your first harvest because we want the freshest fruit and the freshest vegetables. We don't want the stale stuff. Yes. We want your freshest wheat and the freshest breads. And so people would come down and bring everything to the church and give it all away along with whatever money they had left. And these people would live like fat cats, literally off of pimping the knowledge and understanding of what's going on and tricking people into believing that they had some access to divine power and knowledge when they were just really high-level pimps, is what I call them, man. And the people, you know, the ignorance of the people, you know, you almost can't blame them, but yet at the same time, it's like, how can so many masses of people stand up and fall for this? But it happens. But also, you got to remember the way that they went around, the way that the Council of Nicaea put this in place with Rome, and Rome said, we're now going to dominate the planet with this religion. So they combined their beliefs with the Christianity.
That part right there. You have to understand that part, right? This is why I love history. This is why I love social studies. So when I go back and I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, what really went on here? Now, it gets very convoluted when you start talking about the Roman Empire and how they actually set up their presence. So, in my opinion, Egypt it's like Egypt was not really known for military as a military presence, right? Is maybe when you're talking about some of the earlier pharaohs, Thutmose III was known as a military pharaoh. There were some pharaohs that had experience with war and military, but then over the years, especially after AD, that wasn't so much the case. It's like I don't know where those other pharaohs went, but it's like the Hellenistic period did not help with it it did not help making Egypt any rougher and tougher. If anything, it brought down their guards, right? You had Alexander the Great come into this conquer Egypt. They made him an honorary pharaoh. And then it was kind of like a mesh. That was the start of a free for all right there. That was the start of a free for all because at that point, whatever Egypt was now compromised, right? And they were willing to compromise, and it was like, okay, we're gonna just mix our gods together, right? We'll just mix them together. So you get entities like Hermes Trismegistus, which is mixing Greek and Egyptian histories and pantheons and gods, and you see a lot of this, right? But it wasn't just only Greek and Egyptians history that was being meshed together. You had some external players around there it was like a melting pot of ideas, and we're just gonna mix this all in one bowl, right? So eventually the Greeks, they get overpowered because Rome is on a mission. Rome and its generals are on a mission. You have different areas that's on a mission too. It's not just Rome. You have Germanic tribes out there. Everyone is riving for power right now. And as I look at it, and like I said, you have different civilizations and cultures living right next to each other. Whoever they call the Jews, they had a strong presence. But whoever they called the Christians, they had a different presence, and they had their magic. It was something about their magic. Whatever they was taught by whomever, right? Maybe they was taught by Yeshua some things. Wherever they learned this magic, I could tell you right now that people, their magic was revered. So much so that Constantine's mother was like, she had became very interested in Christianity. So it appears, as I was doing the knowledge and reading the history, that Constantine had a bright idea. It was like, rather than fighting them, and we could do that, but why we just don't do the opposite? Why we don't do what George Soros do, right? Why we don't do what they doing right now with black people on the earth? We accept them, right? So, and this is so genius, right? Instead of continuing to move forward with the old antiquated ways of shooting one black person at a time and putting it on TV and keeping the foot on the black person's neck and then keeping the building the momentum for other different races to hate on the black people. Because we could do this all day. Or we could just flip the script and put our full force behind the black people and say, yo, we got your back. Huh? Yeah, we got your back. I thought you hated. No, we got your black. Black lives matter. What? No, word is born. Black lives matter. You need some money? Yo, here's a few million. What are you talking about? You hate my... Yo, here's a few million. Go out there and do what you do, bro. Black lives matter. And I'm going to let the whole world know it. Listen, y'all, from here on out, Black Lives Matter. Engaged too. What? Wait, that's not what we did. Yo, Black Lives Matter. Yo, just play along. Black Lives Matter and so do trans. Wait, beloved, this is not what we talked about at all. Bro, didn't I give you a few million? Huh? Didn't I say I had your back? Don't do that, bro. I got your back. We're going to make sure you're all right. Because what they've been doing to you, what they've been doing to me, what you've been doing to me. No. Listen. What they've been doing to you this whole time, I was never really with it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And it's high time that the black man, we stop living like this. We need civility for all. Well, they was fighting for civility like 50 years ago, bro. Yeah, but now we really need civility. Now, that was 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But now, let's get serious. It's 2024. Let's get serious. Now we really need civility. You see how they act like they joined something and then they throw their own agenda in there? They did it to this day. I just explained something, a tactic that they are presently using. Right now they're using that. Got my boy Myson mixed up in all type of stuff. Didn't even know what he was getting involved in. He's out here screaming Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter's on a whole different mission out here. They fighting for the rights of transgenders. What is going on out here, blood? Right? It was no different with Constantine and the Christians. Yeah. I thought you was persecuting us. Hell no, blood. My mom's is a Christian. I wouldn't do that to y'all. I'm with y'all. I'm so much with y'all. I'm willing to throw my whole weight behind what y'all got going on. What y'all got going on over here? Let me see. Can you teach me? Can you teach me the magic? Nah, blood. What? I'm not teaching you nothing, Lord. There's a initiation phase. There's phases to this. Huh? Listen. Hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to just pivot. I'm gonna just have to steal all the fucking books in the library then. Just have to steal all the books in the library then, man. You understand? I'm gonna learn this magic one way or the other. All you gotta do, this ain't hard to learn if you really wanted to know it. Just know you might find something that you didn't want to find, like the truth. When you find out Rome was they wasn't about no Christian life. You gotta understand, beloved, two things that don't make sense. Let's talk about two things that don't make sense before we continue on. One, if Jesus was king of the Jews, then why was it the Jews that brought him to get persecuted in this story, right? Two, the Romans, y'all was involved in his capture too. And his death too. So why is two? That's what don't make sense about that story. Two groups that wasn't really for this person y'all called Jesus and was for the death of him are associated with him. They call him King of the Jews to this day. The Jews are, I'm good. I'm good on it. The Jewish people. Let me not say the Jews. The Jewish people. Who? Jesus? Whatever. Right? They don't care. They don't know nothing about that New Testament life. Right? They're like, yeah, we heard of them. We're more of your 5 first books type of people. You understand? We're more of a Old Testament type of people. All of that malarkey about the New Testament, do the history and find out what the Romans believed in before they believed in Christianity, right? At that point, at that apex right there, then your knowledge is going to hit like, wait a minute, blood. Y'all wasn't even believing in none of this. Y'all had your own religion going on, which people would call paganism to this day. Someone incorporated what they believed in this and put their full weight behind what the Christians momentum they had going on and branded Christianity. And they branded it and it became very powerful. This is marketing, but it was a little bit more extreme marketing back then. I mean, if you laying people down and killing them and burning them, people are more inclined to hear what you have to say. You understand? Let's continue listening.
All right, because they felt like keeping it separate was creating too much, anger between the two sides, and everybody wanted to go head to head. So you know what? We're going to combine it. We'll add our stuff in with their stuff, and we'll make it a national religion.
Well, yeah, they were getting
over.
Well, they were getting unruly, and Constantine said, "Look, I'll be Christian.
Correct.
I'll be Christian. I'll be Christian. Let's all do this, guys. I'll be Christian. Let's go over here. We'll put a pope
Yeah.
up. The pope, he talks to God every day.
Yeah.
The bishops, they talk to
Right.
God every few days. The cardinals, they talk to him like maybe once a month, twice a month, and the priests
Right.
talk to them every once in a while. But
Yeah.
it's an ordered thing. But no, but we're with you guys because the Christians were starting to get a little out of hand, so they needed to control them.
Yeah. They need to control them. So, if you can't beat them, join them. That's the mindset, right? And we'll add some of our stuff in with theirs. We'll mix it all around. We'll remix it. But now, here's the trick. As Rome was on its global escapade trying to dominate and take over the planet, everywhere they went, they would then instill and install this Christianity, this Catholic Christianity in those areas. But this is how they did it. People believe that Christianity was spread by love and the good news, and no. It was spread by rape, bloodshed, murdering, and killing.
Crusades.
And so when they came to your town, they literally would take your women and your children. They would, they would take the leader of that village or whatever. They would show that you guys are going to bow down to us. You're going to follow this religion. You're going to.
Let's stop. Are we going to talk about this, Christians, or not? Shout out to B Dolos in the building. See, these are the parts that it always amazes me how people don't want to talk about how their religion started. This is one of the, I don't have religion. I'm good, right? Good. No one has to try to convert Saladin. Saladin's out here. He's good. I'm good. Because when you talk about a means to an end, right? Guess who else had a means to an end? The Kennedys, right? Guess who had a means to an end? The Bushes, right? These people, their forefathers were gangsters, like real gangsters out here selling booze, doing crime to get by, right? Just like everyone else, right? But they just so happened to succeed and get good at what they did, and they made a lot of money. And then naturally, what did they do? Well, they said, I'm not going to continue my family in crime. I'm going to do the best for my family. I'm going to set them up in private schools. I'm going to get them in circles, winning circles for life, right? We're going to get up here with the elites. We're going to rub shoulders. And this is how their people started to become somebody. Stay away. Now, is there any need for George Bush the second or the first? Right? Because Prescott was out there doing his thing. But now, is there any reason for Herbert Walker to do these things? No. It is definitely no need for for George Bush Jr. to be out here and have to be selling anything illegal to get by, because his people's already made a way for him. That's a means to an end, right? So it's okay for you Christian people to talk about how the Bushes committed crimes to get where they are. It's okay for you to have that conversation, but then you yourself don't want to have a real conversation about how your own religion started? Nonsense. Good morning, Cuba. Nonsense, right? Now, I'm not down in any religion today, right? I'm not. What I'm saying is don't like, because there's things you could take from a religion that's good for you. And some of this repetitious behavior is good for many people. It could change a person's life. Be true to your religion. Be true to the practices. I think a lot of this will help your life. The good things, right? Prayer, meditation, the things it teaches you, the principles, fruits of the spirit, stuff like that. There are good instructions in these religions. They're not for me, but I'll just take the good instructions from universal law and all of it together, right? Wherever it came from the beginning, I'll take it from there. I don't need to be part of anything, because they existed before these religions. These same instructions, they were already here. And then the other religions said, okay, we'll comprise these, right? and then we'll get followers. I don't need followers. This is a poker face society. If I die, the society lives on. There's no leader. I'm not a leader. It's you know your mission. Find your purpose and live out your purpose. You understand? You know your mission. I'm just exposing the light. One of the vessels that expose the light, because this is a dark world and their momentum has built up. So where does that kill out the light? You cannot kill light. You can't. Darkness cannot overpower the light because the light is just that more powerful, right? This I'm talking about one speck of light, one speck, and you don't have complete darkness. That's powerful. That's powerful. Yet when you reverse that concept, it doesn't work out the same. Let's keep going.
To speak our language, and they'll make an example out of somebody, and then everybody else would follow suit. And if they didn't, then they would say, okay, we're going to give you a lot of these torture devices. They would have the Pope's spear, all right, which is still in the museums right now. They would stick that into a woman's personal parts, and it would explode on the inside of her. They would have this triangular pyramid with a spire on top, and it would reel a man up and down and let it go up into his back door over and over again until he died.
Now, these are some of the Catholic practices that they use for torture, right? Have you studied that? Right? Very perverted, by the way. Everything was perverted. I don't even. Why are you inventing machines like that go into man's rectum and just does that to him until he dies? So this perversion has been around for a while.
All these torture mechanisms, they tortured and killed over 80 million people over the course of 700 years under the order of the popes, in order to spread love and peace and Christianity all around the planet.
It's cold-blooded. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. 80 million people. Woo! Good God. I mean, beloved, at some point, your parents, your your ancestors are going to be like, you know what? You're not going to kill my family. I'll say I'm Christian. I'll practice what you want, right? And your mother and your father knew why they did it, right? To save each other and to save you. Well, not you, but whoever the offspring was. And they didn't never have to let the offspring know this is why we did it, right? Because they want their offspring to live. So they say, no, you remain. We don't even let you know. So we're going to bring you up as a Christian. But the history is there. And like I said, it's 2024 and things are starting to unravel because the missing pieces are starting to come to the surface. And it's like, well, this was missing. And it's like, oh, snap, that was missing. Right? Small things like when it says the Elohim and you take the Elohim away. And then you didn't teach the people that the Elohim was plural the whole time. Elohim means many gods, multiple gods. That's what the Elohim is. So what do? You take that away and you replace it with God. Singular term. It still doesn't hit the same because then the rest of the verse doesn't make sense. Because it says, then it's now instead of saying the Elohim said, let us make man in our own image, which makes way more sense. Now you have something that doesn't make sense. And it says, And God said, let us make man in our image. And it's just, it doesn't, 1 + 1 is what? This is ridiculous.
And so, but this is, again, all with the authority of Rome. So this global conquest to spread this and collect money was all done by bloodshed and torture, not by love and peace.
So just as Jesus says, love thy neighbor and do unto others as you don't do unto you, but make sure that you bring a check, cash, or Venmo.
Exactly.
I don't remember Jesus saying these things.
No.
And it's fascinating, like you see all of this when you walk into, by the way, I don't know how many churches I walked into probably 30 churches because they're everywhere in Italy. Like you can't
everywhere you turn.
Like there's a huge church, and then like 2 blocks later there's another church, and it's like there are churches everywhere. And
no, there's churches everywhere on Flatbush, beloved. Churches everywhere in Italy, bro. You ever rode down Flatbush and counted the churches? Yo, just ride down Flatbush one day and count the amount of churches. I've done this. This is why I'm telling you to do it. And it's like, damn. Yo, I'm talking about churches right next to each other. These small storefront churches are everywhere. And remind you, beloved, I just said Flatbush, right? Because this is a main street, so it's easier to count. I'm not even talking about off streets. I'm talking about just one road. Pick a main road, right? Go to Queens, Linden and Nostrand. Just go down. Just go down. Just ride. And just start to count the churches. Like, 2, 3, 4. I did this in Mount Vernon, 3rd Street, at one point in time. 3rd Street had a lot of churches in Mount Vernon. Right? At one point in time, I'm just counting. And then my thing was, how can you have, right? Somebody gave me analytics back in the day and said there was over 400 churches in Mount Vernon. I'm like, 400 churches? How can it be 400 churches in your town? How can it be that many churches in your town? Right? Wherever you live at, St. Louis, Miami, Dade County, Fulton County, Cobb County, huh? LA County. How can you have, my question to y'all is, how can you have that many churches and your community is still desolate? Okay. Cash is in the house. He say big money grab. I mean, is we we having a conversation this morning or we not? What we doing? You never stopped to ask you. So who you doing this for, right? You getting dressed up every Sunday. It's a big country club, right? You going to see the people that you've been talking about all week. This is for the older people, because these newer people, they not going for it. Right? A lot of new people, I would love to see the turnout. But a lot of new young people, I don't know if they're falling for this. I don't see you lasting another 100 years, church. I don't see it lasting. Respectfully. 200 years, you're done. It's over with. It's over with. I don't know if you're going to have the congregation. Young people go to church for the music, and it's a good place to mingle with either the same sex, if they already know they're homosexuals, or the opposite sex. You understand? church girls are a lot to deal with because of the mental status, right? It's going to drive you crazy. But near the end of the week, you'll be a happy, you'll be a happy young man. It's going to go down, right? Somewhere around Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh, she's with it. Nigga, Sunday night and Monday is a wrap. She's back with Jesus Christ. You understand? You're going to stay on the phone for an hour listening about how y'all shouldn't be living like this and sin and this, that, and the third. The pastor done got all in her head. He's, you upset at him, right? Meanwhile, he's out here freaking off Sunday night, nigga. He just gave a whole sermon. He's out here getting swallowed up Sunday night. Swallowed up. Fucking up your vibe that you had going on. So, dealing with a Christian girl is so difficult when you're younger. Jehovah's Witness, forget about it. That's a whole different conversation. Same thing, though. Same thing. It's just, I'm not even going to go into that conversation right now.
Every single church I walked into, no matter how rinky-dinky it looked from the outside, you walk in, masterpieces on the wall, on the ceilings, scrub. It was no matter where you went. It was nothing like here in the States. Here you walk into some churches and they're very humble and there's no such thing as a humble church in Italy. It was just, so as you as an ignorant person from the field or from the country, and you walk into St. Peter's Basilica and you don't understand anything, you have to believe God is here because it's just something it's so grand. So grand. And, I consider myself a fairly educated person. And I walked in and you're just in awe. You're in awe of it. So I could think, wow, if I didn't know better, you could easily.
I'm just waiting for him to finish talking so we can get to the part that I really want you to. He's going on and on. Apologize about this.
Fall into this. I mean, it's.
Yes.
And then let's not talk about the marketing campaign of hiring every great master artist of the last 500 years and commission religious, that's why every time you go into a museum, it's always generally speaking, always Jesus or some sort of religious depiction because the Vatican paid for all of that, right? Am I right?
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. Even the depiction of Jesus.
It's crazy because Billy tapped out for a minute. He's like, exactly. Billy had tapped out. He was just shaking his head. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's my turn? Okay. And now he's about to drop knowledge, right? So now he's about to drop knowledge. Tiger. Okay. Shout out to Tiger. You understand? Tiger says, please drop the album. So this is what I'm going to do. I just said that I'm giving away 5 albums today in the Discord. As soon as I get off and Splashing, call me if I don't do it in the first 10 minutes after I get off, right? Just to remind me. As soon as I get off today, I'm dropping 5 free albums in the Discord of my work. And that's where you'll get it. And Splashing is dropping the link to the Discord. So you'll have that, right? So that's what's going to be going on. Thank you, Tiger.
Jesus was switched over.
Okay. So let's get back to this. We have Billy. Bring it back a little bit. He's about to go in on the depiction of Jesus that you guys see. All right. He's about to build on that.
Right? Am I right?
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. Even the depiction of Jesus was switched over to the face that became the global popular face. That was actually Caesar Borgia, who was actually one of the sons of an actual pope and killed his own brother to try to take his place. This guy was just an evil, brutal, killing ruler. His father commissioned the artist to paint his image as the image of Jesus, and that image still
Now let's stop right here, because right now you may be saying to yourself, Saladin, I just want you just so you may be like a behind the bar type person, right? Behind the bar will watch my whole show and just take notes so that he could go and do another show opposing what I said, right? She's trying to find holes in what I said, right? That's fine because I take it as flattery. Like you would watch a whole 2 hour live on your boy. Yo, bro, don't let me live in your mind rent free, bro. You understand? And I'm telling you right now, I'm not paying nothing to live in your mind, bro. So, but I'm telling you, don't let me live there rent free. Now, if you're gonna let me live there, I am living rent free. I'm letting you know that right now. So I appreciate you coming over, watching. Who watches 2 hours of somebody's material just to find out something that they could go back and do a show on? Beloved, you might as well have a seat and build with the gods while you're here. You understand? Because if you was over here building with the gods, you would have never went out to the Bronx that day and ended up playing basketball with deaf Spanish kids and getting your sandwich manhandled, and it was disgusting. You understand? That would have never happened. Why? Because you would have had knowledge of self. You would have had knowledge of self. And you would have said, self, that's not you. That's not what we do. As a man, I'm not leaving my wife and kids, put myself in jeopardy. You understand? I'm not going to do it, self. You understand? Come build with the gods, bro. They're going to get you right. You understand? They're going to get you right. So, the gods in the earth. Let's not forget the earth. I don't want to talk about the gods. Can we talk about the earths? Huh? The wisdoms? The true and living vessels of life. The black women. It's not only the black women, in my opinion, but when it comes to the certain organizations, that's who they consider the earth. But let's talk about all women with wisdom. All women with wisdom. They come in all the different races. That's not going to get out here and act other than self. There's a lot of women out here. Indian, Mexican, white women, African women, Jamaican, all type of women that stay true to the knowledge of self. They're not going to act. They're not going to sell themselves out to be represented as something else. This matters. They talk about Black Lives Matter. Yo, standing for something. Knowledge of self matters. You understand? Because the more that frequency is put out, see, they have stripped that away, layer by layer, generation by generation, slowly polluting the knowledge base and the perception of who you really are. And we're going to get to it today. This is taking a little bit longer, but we will get to knowledge of self today, right? And it won't be comprehensive. It won't be the full, complete knowledge of self. No, but we're definitely going to start that conversation. But I think this conversation is needed. This is a primer, right? Because you have to understand the things that took place in order that include what you believe, right? So my whole thing is not to get you to believe. No. I don't need you. I'm just telling you and giving you what you believe in. That image, right? When you do your little cross thing, every time you see the image of Jesus Christ, that's not Jesus Christ. The image is not even Jesus Christ. Caesar Borgia. It's not even Jesus Christ. And his name wasn't Jesus. Like little things like that don't matter to you. Wow. I just thought you might want to. So here's an image that was given, right? That wasn't him. And a name that wasn't him. Those are some things I could see you just going right over, right? And be like, that's not a big deal. Bro, his image and his name is literally not his, bro. What are we talking about? Well, I mean, anyway, let me move on because I don't know.
Propagates the planet till this very day. So the image that a lot of people are praying to is not the Jesus that they think it is, but actually a natural born killer.
And it is that's true, because I mean it was just propaganda. That was the propaganda of the day, were these master works of paintings and frescoes and things like that. That was the propaganda of the day. That was the art of, that's all, the only way they could get messages like this out there. So because of this one artist,
beloved, the art doesn't even match what the book says. The book says he had feet of bronze and hair like wool. Now, thankful for YouTube, I was able to watch so many things. I've watched people get up here. I've watched Caucasian men get up here and upset. They are irate. And they tell you how Jesus could not have been a black man. It's impossible. Beloved, I mean, what are you talking about? It's not the black people of America saying Jesus was black. It's the Bible that said it. Why would they keep that in there? This is what I'm telling you. A lot of stuff did not make sense. These are lazy these are the laziest people I've come across, right? Not only did they changed the word Elohim to God, right? But then they kept the rest of the sentence. So that whole sentence didn't make sense. You had, like, this is the first book. This is the first chapter. Never mind the first book. This is the first chapter in the book, beloved. Verse 26. You could have changed that. You could have changed the whole sentence. You changed everything else. Why you didn't change that? Now you got people asking, who is we? Right? Who are they? Why does it say? Then you tell them, it's the Trinity, beloved. What? It's the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. That's what it is. Beloved, none of that makes sense. You're saying this man is God. He was brought here he was brought back here as a youth. He can't even fend for himself. Does he have any powers? Like, what is going on? Why do you keep depicting this man, Hollywood? Why? Hollywood. Why do y'all keep depicting these people as Europeans? What is so hard about just making these films more realistic, right? I'm not saying have him out here dark skinned like Shaka Zulu, right? It wouldn't have mattered to me what race he was, right? But because it don't really matter. But the only reason I'm bringing it up is because your anomaly is retarded, right? It doesn't make sense, right? If you could have just went along with what the book said he had skin of bronze. Why you didn't even try to get nothing close to skin of bronze, huh? You ran out here and got a straight Caucasian European, right? And you continue to do this, right? When you talk about the Egyptians and Moses, and you went and got Charleston Heston, like, what are you doing, Hollywood? Perception matters, Jamel. If we give the black people any hope, it might be just enough hope to get them united to working together. And then, like Chuck D said, fear of a black planet is going to be different. We won't be able to, that's a big part of our revenue, Jamel. You understand that black ignorance is $1 billion business. It's probably $1 trillion business. Not only do we make money off of their low attention spans, right? Because their brain has atrophy because they don't use it. So they pass on this degeneration, generation to generation. Huh? When you don't use something, you lose it. We have not been using our intellect for quite some time. And then the things that we produce with this limited intellect, they praise as if it's something that to be like on a pedestal, right? They out here giving accolades for mumble rapper. Oh my God, did you hear that? They're pacifying you, beloved. Do you understand you was the computers during the NASA age? Black women were computers. Why do you think they put Sexy Red up there? She's out here pregnant in rap videos half naked. What does that tell the young girls? Right? There's no images of Kathleen Johnson out here. Once a NASA computer. She's doing things with her mind. She was a mathematician. She was doing things with her mind that we need computers to do now. What are we talking about? Black ignorance is a billion-dollar business, if not a trillion-dollar business. If you don't use it, you lose it and you pass it on to your kids. The same mentality. Let's get to it.
You have these images, but generally speaking, if you go back far enough, I mean, Jesus wasn't a white guy with blue eyes. That doesn't make it.
No.
He just wasn't, right?
No. Yeah, he wasn't a white guy with blue eyes. If you read the description, he had bronze feet and he had tight curly hair. I mean, so clearly you're talking about somebody that looks like they come from that region, which really is the northern tip of Africa, aka Arabia, in that region. And I've been there, of course, now dozens of times. I mean, all those people, the people who are homegrown, they all look the same. Matter of fact, when I go there, they go, "You my brother, you my brother." I say they want to sell me something. Of course, I'm your brother now. But
of course. Of course.
But the point is, you get it. I mean, obviously, he wasn't a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes, but that's a depiction that took hold and took root and has been burnt into the minds. What a great marketing campaign. I mean, you want to talk about applied neuroscience. That image is burnt into the brains of people before they even conceived. When they come out of the womb, they're looking for that image. So they did a great marketing and propaganda campaign with that image. They burnt it into the brains of people so deeply, it's embedded in our DNA.
Well, I mean, look at Santa Claus. I mean, the image of Santa Claus was basically a marketing campaign from Coca-Cola. And that's that Santa Claus we all know and love. You know, that's the image. The jolly old man with the white, with the big white beard, and that was just an image created by Coca-Cola. Am I wrong with that? But that's now propagated. So now that is the image of quote unquote Saint Nick.
Yeah. It started off in the UK with a gentleman, and then Coca-Cola kind of adopted it and then enhanced it to what they're liking, the way they wanted it to be. A chubby guy. It was first a skinny guy. But they adopted it, they enhanced it to what they wanted it to be, but it took hold again. Like you said, it's great marketing, great propaganda, subliminal information, subliminal messages and teachings, and it just gets birthed into the genome, and it passes on from generation to generation. Same thing happened with this Jesus figure. His name isn't even Jesus. His name was Yeshua.
Yeshua,
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the actual name. And so, but again, Jesus, the J is a new letter. It didn't even exist until recently. I mean, so we're talking about, okay, what is really the name? Isus. When you look into the root word of that and you go back into some of the ancient tongues, you find out it's Hail Zeus.
Easy now, man. Easy now, man. Easy, Billy. Easy. Jesus Christ. Not Hail Zeus. Now, many Christians are going to want to debate this. A lot of things are not up for debate, beloved. I don't think the letter J was even invented into the 17th, 18th century. So when I say to you, who is this guy? I'm not just who is this guy that y'all talking about, beloved? The image is somebody else. The name is literally somebody else. Hail Zeus. That would make more sense because if you go back to what I was telling you about the Romans integrating Christianity in their belief system so that we can all just move on one frequency, right? There's no need for us to be. We can't get no money like that, right? They have broke the regions up, right? When I did the research and I've seen what Rome was doing when they took over the area, they broke the regions up in something called quadrants, right? So there was areas where they gave this general this area and this. So they were like quadrants. They broke it up into quadrants, which by the root of that, as soon as you say core, you feeling you're dealing with, four parts, right? So we're just going to say four parts. They broke it up, the regions, and then what they did was they said, okay, you rule this area. So you had four different rulers over there. But a lot because of the Hellenistic area, the Hellenistic age, when the Greeks had ruled the area, like I was telling you before, it was a free for all of beliefs. It was kind of like very liberal. It was like, yeah, very hippie-ish, right? When the Romans came in, they yo, beloved, this ain't what it used to be. Right? This is what we say it is. So they ruled with more of a iron fist. But what they noticed is there was a lot of opposition. People were so used to praising their own God and dealing with this, that, and they say, okay. Imposing our own religion on them may not work, right? And we want to get to the money. We try and get to the money, right? Us coming in here destroying the Jews' temple, that ain't gonna work. Now we got beef with the Jews. We got beef with the Christians. You just got beef out here. And their main religion is not even either one. They wasn't Jewish or Christian. So what they gonna do? Well, they got to team up with somebody, and they was very scared of the Christian magic, like I said. So who they go with? Like Bernie Mac said, "Who you with? Who you with, baby?" I guess we with the Christians, right? So we gonna throw our weight behind them. I mean, it would be awkward to throw your weight behind the Jewish people after you done destroyed their temple. That wasn't gonna make a lot of sense, right? There was no Muslims at this time. So they threw their weight behind the Christians. These mystics. Hoping that they could use a lot of their magical powers. And I do believe they tortured many trying to get the magical teachings and the powers. And they probably did get them. And then they kept them to themselves. Now Billy Carson says the etymology of Jesus, which I had figured something like that, right? Because, and I figured this out years ago. I'm talking about I was young, teenager or something. I just broke down the word into syllables. And I separated Jesus and I was left with hey Zas, right? Hey Zeus, right? Anyway, that's what the Spanish call him, Jesus. So I knew that de in Spanish meant from, right? So I took and I said from. This was my rationale back then. And I said from Zeus. So I didn't come up with Hail Zeus. Back then I was like from Zeus. And that's how I said, yo, this got something to do with the god Zeus. This don't got nothing to do with who they said it got something to do with. Got to be, right? And then as I started to continue on my journey for knowledge, it started to make more sense. The missing pieces of the puzzle started to make more sense. Let's listen to a little bit more, and then I'm going to get started.
So people that are calling on the name of Jesus all the time, they're calling for help from Zeus, which is actually a converted name from the Sumerian pantheon. So they're calling on Enlil, is what they're calling on. They're not calling on any son of the creator of the universe. And this is why a lot of prayers don't actually work. People don't understand the power of speech and then calling on names and the cymatic frequencies they create. Then when you're completely ignorant to what you're really saying, it's no wonder why billions of prayers go up every single day all around the world. But then again, look at the state of the world on a daily basis. You can clearly see that if somebody has a positive outcome, more than likely it's just luck.
And let's stop right there, beloved. Now we could get started. So I was a little bit off with my time, right? But I felt like that was a necessary prelude to whatever I'm about to talk about. It was necessary because people are moving off of sentiment, and that's hurtful to have that many people moving off of something they think is right, but they was never given the knowledge. So I said, okay, you know what? I laid out on the table. You take what you want, what you don't want, you leave, and it don't bother me none. I'm not offended because I understand. I totally understand. If you was only taught about Christianity on up and you never took the time, and actually you was told not to really, I had a female pastor tell me that the Egyptians was evil people, right? The Egyptians in the Bible. She wasn't talking about people that come from Egypt, right? She was just talking about the Egyptians in the Bible, the evil people. And she was teaching that. She was saying, no, those people, they know, right? That's, again, if you start learning from within a framework of parameters, right? Meaning the Catholic Church, all of it is Catholicism. So, a lot of these people, when they used to get their license to be able to preach the word, they have to go to a seminary. All of the seminaries are controlled by the Catholic Church anyway, right? You don't have to do that now. You could just go get a license offline, right? You could be a pastor by this afternoon, whatever. But before, you would have to get licensed or give some type of certification, rather. Let's just use that word better, right? Certification. You would have to be given the permission. We need to see some type of certification, some type of degree from a seminary. And then once you get that, what's your path? Where are you going with this? Well, if you're teaching to the Christians, this is the curriculum and the information for these people here, right? Now, what I did was I said, okay, thank you. Please take all of that, move that to the side, right? I need to know just history. And this is where I discovered civilizations before where the Catholic Church starts, right? Let's talk about that, beloved. But these people, they praise Baal. There was so many deterioration. No, you don't want to learn about that. They praise false gods. No. I'll make my own decision, beloved. Please, 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 please. Let me read for myself about these Babylonians that you're speaking of. I will read. Took me a while. You understand? Had to really, it was very confusing. Very confusing. I don't know what's going on. You know why I was so confusing? I was missing a whole nother piece. So if you start studying Babylonians, you know, Zoroastrianism and all of these different things that were going on in that area, Mesopotamia, then you're like, okay, it seems like Murdoch is Murdoch is the main god, right? These people revered Murdoch. You're like, all right. But guess what? Things are missing because you had a whole nother civilization before that. Then you go before that and be like, yo, why is your God nobody? Your God is literally someone's child in the pre-civilization. So in Babylonian times, in that region of Mesopotamia, where Murdoch is a god now, he's the big god, he's the big stepper. Yo, just go one civilization before that, Sumerians, and Murdoch is nobody in that joint. He is a little child. He's the son of Enlil. So now, naturally, you would ask yourself, well, if you're nobody now, right? When I say nobody, blood, I mean nobody. Murdoch is nobody in the civilization before, right? He's not regarded as one of the big steppers at all. So you're like, yo, who's the big steppers over here? Your father? Who's your father? Enlil. Who's your uncle? Enki. Who's your grandfather? Anu. What? So it seems like, wait, did you turn yourself into a god after your parents died? Huh? Is that what we doing? Every time, like, we just gonna keep creating, it's just some random individual that just turned themselves into the yeah. All right. Anyway, I gotta go soon. So let's get to this. Huh? Let's get to this because I gotta go soon. And the more I look at our anatomy, the more I realize we were the first computers. The more I realize we were the first computers. This human body, we're just now finding out things about our body right now. And it's sad because now they want to, as we're starting to understand our anatomy, is we're at the point where they're about to change our anatomy before we realize, wait, we was Homo sapien for a while, and we never understood what that meant. We never understood what came with that because people controlled our knowledge, our understanding. If we had the knowledge, then obviously we understood the knowledge, then we would have been wiser. But we did not have the knowledge, so therefore, like I said a second ago, we were limited. But even the computer, your computer right now that you're watching me on has a motherboard, whether it's a phone you're watching me on, whether it is a PC, it has a motherboard, right? And it has a circuitry on that motherboard for information to travel through. Now, that circuitry is probably some type of, it could be anything. It could be copper that's welded on there. It's a conduit, enough for electrical pulses to carry information to where? To the central processing unit, to the brain of that computer. Central processing unit. It's also called the CPU. They look like little veins. They look like little veins. And then you have pieces attached to this motherboard, right? Like USB, right? And so this is just compatibility. This is for compatibility. You can put anything on the motherboard you want, right? You could put a graphic card if you want to. If you think you're going to have a monitor, then you might want to be able to see what the messages are. Then you put a graphic card on there. Just attach it to the motherboard, right? So that communication comes through, and there's an exchange of communication. You want to type, then put something. Well, just you use your USB for that. But the motherboard itself is just a base, right? Then you add the circuitry. Circuitry is going to allow information to go through. And then you have the central processing unit that's going to process everything, and then it's going to delegate. You have memory, so that you can retain and build upon the knowledge that you have already on the computer. Is not this body the first? Are not your veins the circuitry that carries the oxygen all through your body? The oxygen and the nutrients from what you digest during osmosis? Is not your brain the central processing unit? Are not your arms and your legs your peripheral devices? Are not your eyes how you monitor things? Neurons. A neuron is a specialized cell in the nervous system that is responsible for transmitting information throughout the body. Just bear with me for a second, right? Because 1 + 1 is 3, right? So we have to start to understand, we have to start to think in mathematics. Neurons are often referred to as the building blocks of the nervous system because they play a fundamental role in the processing and transmitting signals. We are the first computer, I promise you, right? So when you look at these words over here, I am no medical student, but I'm just looking at the pieces of the neuron, the dendrite, the cell body, the axon, right? And as I look at the dendrite, I said, that looks rather weird, right? Like those things sticking up. Neurons talk to each other by sending electrical signal messages. I said, this can't be right. This can't be right. Just like the computers that you use every day. When you understand that the first language of computer is just binary, right? What is binary? Binary is only electrical signals that come in pulses. So if I sent you 8 signals, but only 3 was, I'm going to send you 8 signals at a time. If you only received 3, that means the rest was turned off. That's a language, right? That's a code. I'm going to send you another 8. Let's just call each pulse a bit, and let's call 8 of them If there's 8 of them, it's a byte. I'm going to send you another 8 bytes. 1 byte, 8 bits. Send you another byte. And depending the place value of which one, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? If 2 is turned on, 5 is turned on, 7 and 8 is turned on. That's a message, right? This is a language. There's only 8 bits in a byte, but you have different combinations. If you turn them all on at the same time, then that's 255 or 256, right? We talking zeros and ones. If it's off, it's a 0. If it's on, it's a 1. We're talking zeros and ones. This is binary. That's the computer that you use. Who would have known if you would have known that that's also your body? That's also what's happening in your body right now. Real talk. No, real talk. I'm not even BSing with you. Neurons talk to each other by sending electrical signal messages. When this message reaches the end of a neuron over here, right? It tells the neuron to release tiny chemicals called neurotransmitters. These chemicals jump to the next neuron. There they stick to the next neuron and tell it to send its own electrical message, continuing the conversation. Amazing. Now, when I look at this here dendrite, it says these are branch-like extensions that protrude. These are branch-like extensions that protrude from the cell body and receive signals from other neurons and sensory receptors. Beloved, if once we start to understand our own anatomy, and it's sad that now, as soon as we really start to explore, the information is just uplift. It's made so much easier. You don't have to go to medical school, right? To really learn this stuff. Now we have the internet where I could talk to a bunch of people, right? I can't just come outside and build with more than 6 people at a time, because technically the police could break that up if they wanted to. They don't always do it, but if they wanted, you can't just come outside and build with like 10 people in the room. No, they could break that up if they wanted to. They don't do it. They don't exercise their right to break that up all the time. But they can. But what about thousands at a time, right? The ability, I see some people, when they go live, they got thousands of people, 1,700 in the building. I'm like, oh snap, that's a lot. If you had a message, imagine meeting with 1,700 people at the corners, at your corner. Yo, police is breaking that up. So now that we have the ability to do this, most people that's up here and they got 1,700 in the building, a lot of people not talking about nothing, right? They talk about Drake and Kendrick beef. Poets. This is what we discussing, right? We're not talking about knowledge itself and how complicated we are as a people, and which would bring us to our full possibilities of what we can do as a people, understanding us, right? We're not talking, no. In the moment that the leaders of this platform see that, okay, you kind of using your platform to congregate people to really think and all that, they're going to shut your punk ass down. These are the facts. unless you're on the same wavelength with them. Unless, like Splash and original man said earlier, you ain't really going into depth in a lot of things. If you stand on the out, all right, we'll let you rock, right? So that's why I said they let Billy Carson rock. Billy mainly talking. He gonna keep repeating the same thing. You understand? Which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that to diss him. I'm saying it's a safe zone. Some of it is safe because sometimes you hear him complaining that when he go too much. One time he tried to do a show on the Trilateral Communion, all that. They did not like none of that. Like, stay in your place. Keep talking about Anunnaki, aliens, this, that, and the third, right? We don't care. As soon as you go too far, you start talking about Trilateral Commission and Bilderberg groups and all of that. Chill out. Easy in the start. Easy. Then he'll take a hit. He gets back in line. This is what they do, right? I was never big enough for to get back in line, right? It's not like I was making, had a lot of views and this, that, and the third, and then they shut me down. No, they pretty much shut me down at the gate. Like, nah, son. Nah, son. You out of pocket. And I don't know if you're going to get back in pocket. Because you actually believe what you're saying, though. We're not even giving you that chance. You're going to have to get that on your own. Okay. I'm just here. I'm not trying to get nothing, beloved. That's where you messed up. I was giving a message, and I'm giving the message. Huh? Give it. Smokey in there doing 1 to 3. He said he'd be out here soon. You cats stay cool. Huh? I'm just here to give a message. Let's get to it. Now, as I look at the different parts, and I start to read the different parts of this neuron that's carrying these messages, just like a computer carrying its messages. We already went through this. The circuitry of the motherboard. We already went through all of this. Motherboard is your body. The computer was designed after the human anatomy. I look at the cell body. This is the central part of the neuron that contains the nucleus and other organless or organs necessary for the cell's function. Okay, organelles. We just read the dendrite, which it receives signals from other neurons, right? Then the axon. This is a long, slender extension of the neuron that carries signals away from the cell body. Axons can be quite long, allowing signals to travel over significant distances. But this sounds very sci-fi. Axon terminal. At the end of the axon, there are small structures called axon terminals or synaptic terminals. These structures release neurotransmitters, which are chemical messages that transmit signals to other neurons or target cells. It sounds very sci-fi, right? Now I want to go into something for a second. Let's go into geoelectric magnetism. Now, when I say electricity is all around us, your first thought is, oh, he's talking about geoelectric magnetism, which I'm not, but that is also a proven theory that allows us to know that electricity is all around us. Now, let's deal with mathematical conversation this morning, right? In the mathematical conversation, it's just an understanding of how this electromagnetic field is created, right? Because when you're dealing with mathematics, it had to come with somewhere. Either you don't understand it or you understand it, right? But it's happening for a reason. It's no mystery God this great. No. This is happening because this is happening because that is the laws of that's universal law. This is happening because this is happening. If you change this, that's going to change the outcome of that. That is 1 + 1 is 3. So let's deal with this geoelectromagnetism. Geomagnetism is primarily generated by the motion of molten iron and nickel in the outer core. Okay, so let's deal with, even though I wrote this, my bad. Let's deal with the inner core first, right? So you have layers of the earth, right? And if you go into the nucleus of it, you have the inner core, right? And then this inner core is heating up. There's heat coming from this inner core, right? And that heat is transferred to the outer core. And the outer core is pretty much molten iron and nickel, right? These are materials that we would consider metals. Now, how you're going to get this with flat earth, I don't know, but I'm not dealing with flat earthers today, right? I'm just dealing with mathematical language today. Right? So as the earth is rotating, right? And this energy the heat is continually giving convection and the heat rises, right? So it pushes the cooler, well, it pushes the heat up to the top. And then the cooler iron and molten sinks back to the bottom, and then it gets heated again, and then it pushed back up to the top. And this is going to just continuously to repeat, right? Because the cooler material is going to sink back to the bottom, and then it's going to get reheated, and then it's going to create this, it's going to continue to do this. Now, while this is happening, the earth is rotating. So as that heat hits the iron and the nickel, it is creating a frequency, right? This electric frequency. But because the earth is spinning at the same time, it puts out these frequencies in like patterns, lines, if you will, almost. This creates the electromagnetic field down here on Earth. So naturally, yeah, you have that electricity, right? You have that electricity. I guess the thing would be to figure out how to harness and control that electricity, which maybe Nikola Tesla, he did figure it out. Abria's in the building. Abria changed her hairstyle. Peace to Abria. I didn't see her come in. Peace to the earths. So that is one. Now that's one concept of electricity being everywhere. But that's not the electricity I'm talking about. That's not the electricity. That is one. It's happening. It's here. That's not the one I'm referring to, though, today. The one I'm referring to, right? So when you combine these together, it's like, yo, electricity really is everywhere. But let's consider this, right? And I wrote down my theory, and I guess I'll build on it. I said, it is my theory that the geomagnetism ultimately contributes to human beings being able to maintain a charge, right? Because we already had read that these neurotransmitters give off signals, electrical signals, and within that signal is a message. Well, beloved, in order for you to continue to be getting messages, and which obviously you're getting messages right now, right? Your body is present. You're watching this show. You're listening. There has to be a electrical current running through you right now. I had to think about that. Let's slow this way down. In order for me to exist and be alive, I need electrical current in my body. Does that not sound like a computer? I said, this thing got deep. This thing got deep. Now, I'm not going to say school didn't teach me this. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't remember being taught this. I don't know if I was paying attention. It did not. I don't remember learning about the electrical part of our existence. I do remember a lot of stuff about, cutting frogs open and organs and this, that, and the third, right? But I don't remember the necessity of electricity in order for a human being to exist. I don't remember that. In actuality, coming to think about it, I don't think I was ever told that. I've come to this conclusion on my own. Once I found out certain things that we will go over today. So, this theory is not endorsed by mainstream science. However, it does align with logic and rationale of stable configuration. So, today we're going to talk about stable configuration, which is when the body of the cell attempts to keep a full outer electron shell through a numbering system. Okay, so at this point, you would have to understand what a cell is, an atom. You have neutrons, protons, and then you have electrons, right? And again, I do remember learning about those in science. I do remember learning a little bit, not that much about metaphysics, right? But if we're going to deal with physics and metaphysics, you have the building blocks of matter, right? You have, I think, something called lupit. Is it called lupit? I may be mixing that terminology with bloods. It does. You have after that is quarks, right? You have quarks. You have atoms. You have molecules. You have particles. You have eons. There's certain terminologies that we have used down here to better understand the building blocks for matter, right? But because we can't really see these building blocks until they get to a certain point, until they start to compound. You could keep on going, right? Because then you're going to have molecules, and then molecules is going to make tissues, and then tissues is going to make organs, and then an organ is going to make the body, right? So you're going to keep on going, but you have to go far back as possible. And this is what we deal with when we talk about metaphysics. Abria says high school and college get into it. We have to put the pieces together, perhaps. And that's why I don't want to say, I'm not in a rush to say they did not teach me. I am in no way in a rush to say, oh, they didn't teach me that. I could have been paying attention to anything else. And I'm inclined to agree with Abria right now. Maybe they gave us enough, and it was like, maybe it was in the chapter, and I just rushed over it trying to get the homework done. so I can hand it in, and didn't really consider. I mean, seriously, is this the top of at the top of my priority list? It's not at this point. But can I say something? If we were to truly understand, if we made this a priority in our households, right? Instead of praising mystery gods, because 1 + 1 is 3, right? So instead of just getting engulfed in the divination of things, but we started to really, you grew up in a household where now they want you to understand the mathematics that make the world go round. And I'm talking about, they don't just want you to understand it is a way of life in your household. You have the same way your religion is, the same way a full understanding of your anatomy would be. Do you know that if this happened for 50 years straight, how different this world would be? Right? You wouldn't be able to do nothing with those youths. I'm talking about nothing. Let me get back to this. So let's keep that word stable configuration. And write that down. I like when people look things up themselves. Look up stable configuration. It's when the body of the cell attempts to keep a full outer electron shell through a numbering system. This process involves the transfer, listen to this. This process involves the transfer of electrons, right, between atoms through chemical reaction. So the chemical reaction, I don't want you to so much focus on, because I think that throws off an understanding. I just want you, the main piece of this sentence I want you to understand is stable configuration is the process of when electrons get transferred between atoms. That's it. Electrons are going from one atom to the next, one atom to the next. And they're doing this to remain stabilized, right? So either there's an excess of atoms, which they have to lose, or there's an excess of electrons, which they would have to lose some to balance it out, right? So I don't need this many. This is actually a negative charge. I have too many electrons. It's a negative charge. So I'm going to give some to another to stabilize that atom. The process of atoms gaining or losing electrons, whether through chemical reactions, ionization, or other means, is happening continuously all around us, with us every day. Now, as I started to understand this, I said, whoa, 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 slow down. What you mean? What you mean this is happening every day? Now, if you didn't know, there's an electrical charge every time an atom loses or gains an electron. Every time an atom loses or gains an electron, there's an electrical charge. Anytime there is an electrical charge, there's a magnetic field around that. So two things are happening right there. Well, one combination of things. There's an electromagnetic charge around us all the time, because this is happening all of the time. Did you know that? I didn't. I didn't. So even though this is at a low voltage, beloved, you are walking around with a constant electrical charge. Yo, I did not know that. As ignorant as I wish I would have paid attention in science, right? This is probably my own fault for not paying attention. But again, if I'm so I don't know if I believe the numbers, right? Because the numbers was stupid high before. Now they went down. I don't believe that I would start talking about what I said my show was about and they would drop it. But YouTube does stuff like that. YouTube also, let me tell you another tactic of YouTube. They will unsubscribe you from me for no reason. This has happened with multiple people. So I'm asking everyone that watches me, um, always check your subscription when it comes to the Poker Face Society, because YouTube has done this multiple times. They just unsubscribe people. Abria says your heart uses electrical energy to pump blood through your body, right? So what I'm describing, Abria, is at the base level. So before we even get to just organs, I'm talking about the things that make up organs are creating this electrical system. This is what I'm saying. I was never told, right? I was maybe, and maybe again, maybe it was there, but I don't remember being told that every time an atom loses or gains an electron, that there's an electrical charge. So, if this is happening all the time because that makes up our existence, then there's nothing that electricity doesn't maintain in our body. Our whole existence relies on the electrical current that is continuously created from us just being here. And I'm in awe because I did not know this. So, what I'm explaining to you is called the ion flow, the movement of charged particles across cellular membranes. Ions play crucial roles in various biological processes that include cellular signaling. What is cellular signaling? Ions such as calcium, sodium, potassium, and chloride are involved in cellular signaling pathways. They act as secondary messengers in signal transduction cascades, regulating the process such as gene expression, cell growth, and differentiation. Muscle contraction. In muscle cells, the movement of ions across cellular membranes is essential for muscle contraction. Calcium ions and other, in particular, play a key role in initiating and regulating the contraction process. Beloved, what I'm explaining to you, so to answer your question, your question is answered right there, Bria. Yes. If the heart is a muscle, then what we're talking about is ion flow contraction. All of this is the electrical charge particles that have to do with our cellular signaling, our muscle contraction, our nerve impulse transmission. Nerve cells and neurons use the flow of ions across their membranes. By the way, hit the like button. Nerve cells and neurons use the flow of ions across their membranes to transmit electrical impulses. If you have a Facebook account, can you do me a favor? Can everyone that has a Facebook account that they are active, can they share this live? I did use 2 curse words in this, so only 2 though so far. I will be cutting down on profanity altogether. YouTube does not like the N word. N word is out the window, and we will be doing away with all the profanity. So my mother is happy. She might start watching, right? She doesn't like the profanity, but it's out the window now, ma. So yeah, a lot of people left Facebook. Bria says I left Facebook in 2012. Yeah, I'm really not. I'm over there doing like actual business. I got a marketing service over there that I use, but other than that, I'm not. People are like, yo, I can't see you on. You don't respond to me on Facebook, beloved. I'm not on Facebook. My mom is telling me everything that's going on Facebook, and it's usually bad news. You know, such and such died. What? Yeah, it's on Facebook. I don't know how you didn't see it, because I'm not on Facebook, Mom. Splash just said I'm on Facebook. Fucking crazy. Okay, let's go to maintaining electrolyte balance. Charged ions help maintain the balance of electrolytes in bodily fluids, including blood plasma and intracellular fluid. Proper electrolytes balance is essential for maintaining hydration, regulating blood pH, and supporting various physiological functions. So it's crazy to me how our focus, right? Because what we're talking about this morning, and this is why I would love to do this type of show on a Saturday morning versus what, a Friday night, right? Because people getting crunk, you understand? Especially when a hot topic like Drake versus Kendrick come on, like that's more appealing. But Saturday morning, Sunday morning, you more prone to come over, see what Saladin the God is talking about, yeah, what he dealing with, you understand? But again, the marketing of 21st century poets, right? That takes a lot of, especially when you market them as like these people that's running around getting paid, they getting all the sex, they getting all of the money in the world. You know what I'm saying? They flying here, there, their name is already always in the headlines. You don't get that many scientists' names in the headlines. So we're not teaching purpose. We're not teaching what was you sent here to do. We're not teaching who you are, knowledge of self, real knowledge of self, your actual makeup of your genetics, your body, this, that, and the third. These are important things that people once waited years outside of mystery schools to find out. And now that we have this knowledge, nobody cares. No one cares. All right, let's talk about this magnetic field. Whenever electric current flows through a conductor, you are a conductor. Let me explain this to you. Your body is made up of 70% water. You are a conductor. It generates a magnetic field around the conductor according to Ampere's law in electromagnetism. Similarly, whenever there is a changing electric field, it produces a magnetic field according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So, I'm sure they taught this to us. I'm sure they taught this to us. However, they taught this in school. We did not put the two together because they did not put a good emphasis on the fact that our existence heavily relied on an electrical current, on on an electrical state. Let's, instead of me saying current, let's say state. I like that better. Our existence relies on a consistent electrical state that is continuous. It happens on its own, just from the mere fact that that electrons are leaving atoms in our body or joining atoms in our body. Every time that happens, that's going to contribute to the electrical state and the electrical charge in your body. This is happening as we speak. I think I read somewhere you definitely have enough electricity in you to charge a small light bulb. You might have more, but I did read that somewhere. So I was unaware because I did not, and if I did study this, I just didn't remember it. That anytime there's electricity, a magnetic field is created around that electricity. Well, guess what, beloved? You are electricity. You are electricity. So not only are we getting electricity from the geomagnetic electromagnetic field from the earth, right? That's one thing. But you yourself would not exist. Abria says eating alkaline based foods is key too, y'all. It says alkaline,
Alkaline.
having the properties of alkali, or containing alcohol, having pH greater than 7. The pH scale measures how acidic or basic something is on a scale of 0 to 4. Something that is alkaline is on the basic end of the scale or greater than 7. There is a school of thought that changing the body's pH level can improve your health and help you lose weight. Is it? It says pH originates from the Latin and acronym for potentia hydrationi, the power of hydration, the power of hydrogen. This is getting scientific. Even chemical pure, neutral water contains hydrogen ions due to the auto dissociation of water. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, as I end this 3-hour live, it says your aura, well, I say your aura extends beyond the physical body, right? It is composed of multiple layers or levels, each associated with different aspects of an individual's being. These layers may include physical, emotional, mental, spiritual bodies, with each layer corresponding to specific aspects of consciousness and experience. All right. So, here's my thought on this, and you guys can, again, this is not mainstream science. This is just Saladin thinking. I have an aura because that aura is my natural electromagnetic field. Because every instance of electricity creates a magnetic field. And being that I cannot exist without a constant state of electricity, like a computer, then naturally my whole entire body is going to have an aura. But who would have known this? Now, what makes up that electromagnetic field? It could be an extension of your particles and eons. It could be that simple, right? But one thing I know for a fact is that there's an electrical state that exists within you. That's a fact. And in order for there to be whenever there is an electrical state, there is going to be a magnetic field around you. But this is you, right? But as a man thinketh in his heart, is so is he. So is this the reason why when you walk in a room, you could feel someone else's energy and you're like, something's off? Am I bugging? You're probably not bugging, beloved. The extension of your I'm gonna go a little bit further with this. Let's go back up. Let's build on this for a second. Now, what is the neuron? Neuron is a specialized cell in the nervous system that is responsible for transmitting information through the body, right? So we talk about the information that you get. Neurons are often referred to as the building blocks of the nervous system. All right, this is okay. So they transfer information, right? Neurotransmitters, right? Okay. Now, I see these antennas here, these dendrites. They are branch-like extensions that protrude from the cell body and receive signals. Could it be possible that your magnetic field is picking something up and is transmitting it back to the neurons in your system, the dendrites, and your dendrites are then getting this information, right? Whatever, because remember, the process of stable configuration involves the transfer of electrons between atoms. This is always this is happening and happening and happening. Suppose you walk in a room and your aura is picking up information from somebody else's aura and picking it up and bringing it back to your nervous system and transferring it to your brain, your central processing unit, and telling you, yo, the vibe ain't good in here. It's not where you want to be right now. They're not rocking with you. Right? Is that intuition? Are you psychic? Or when you say, I know in my heart, whenever you use that phrase, I know in my heart, maybe you do know in your heart. You know why you know in your heart? Because 1 + 1 is 3. The information that was in their aura connected with your aura. You didn't have to get that close. Now, the healthier you are, who's to say that the healthier we are, our aura isn't vibrant, strong, like bull? Who's to say the weaker you are when you're eating these foods without nutrients, your aura may be, you ain't got that glow. You ain't got that glow. Would this give us a better understanding on why there would be such a movement to feed food to a people on this planet that have no nutrients in it? I don't know. You answer that question, right? I don't know why the USDA and the FDA approve certain things that cannot be good for us. Maybe they don't want your aura as bright. Yo, what if we ran around in metal shoes? Is that possible? Can we run around the earth in metal shoes? Can we run around the earth in highly conductive shoes? Is there a material out here that is highly conductive, yet not as clanky as metal, so that we can get that surge of energy right through our body? Metal shoes might kill you, beloved. Metal shoes might kill you. I'm brainstorming right now. I'm about to end the show, play a song and all that. But metal shoes will, please. I don't want no lawsuits. Please, nobody run out and go get metal shoes from Temu. Huh? They wasn't even your size, beloved. We know this because Temu does not send anything in anybody's size. We know this. So if you're running around, getting metal shoes off of Temu, saying that Saladin told you to do this, I am highly against metal shoes. I just want you to know that. I denounce metal shoes. But what I'm saying now is the shoes that we walk on every day are resistance to that current. So this is why many of the yoga people, many of the people that are in that culture of health, suggest that you get outside and you walk barefooted day to day. Get outside and let the electrical current run through your body. And naturally, the cells are going to try to repair themselves. But if you notice, right now there is a rush to change the human being to a transhuman, meaning it wants to put its own system within you, its own operating system. Once that operating system is in you, beloved, what's going to happen is genetically, it is going to reproduce itself when you have children. Right? It's going to alter your genetics. And outside of that, just to make sure that it's in there, they will require that part of the inoculation process every time a child is born. But that's neither here nor there. Right? And I said, that's the sad part. And now that we're finally at the age of starting to understand our body, now they want to change it up again. This is not the first time, but they want to change it up again. We have not even spent enough time with ourselves to understand our limitations. We run around with rubber shoes on all the time. We have not even gotten to halfway point of our limitations. We're so distracted by this, that, and the third. Our focus is off, right? Oh man, I could go on for hours about this, and I'm not. I do appreciate everyone coming over to build with your boy today. I know we spent a long, lengthy part on religion, Jesus, this, that, and the third. That is a primer. That's necessary to give you that information so that you can be well aware that not all of the information they gave you was truth. And then at the end of the show, we dealt with some more information that's not really marketed as well as I probably wanted to be marketed, that our existence relies on a constant state of electricity. And I think that should be really put out there more, right? When we talk about the possibilities. Well, with that information, what are the possibilities? What does this mean for you? What else can you do? But I think that's why that conversation is limited, because then once you start to tap into that and what's the possibilities of this, that, and that, who knows what you're going to come back to the table with and say that we can do and you did not know. Are you the next Wright brothers who's going to say, yo, did you know we can actually resist gravity by doing that? I don't know what you're going to say, but I know that the more they keep the information from us, right? Can we levitate? Is there a key to levitation? I'm trying to tell you. All right, let me leave with a song by Jamel Saladin. And you know the crazy part? I was looking for a song, right? I was looking for a video. I got a video called I Overstand. I had one on YouTube. Do you know it's not there? I looked for it and looked for it and looked for it. I was supposed to do this show the other day, and I got pissed off when I went to go look for my music and it wasn't there. Now, again, instead of me saying this is some type of black op agency against Saladin, right? God forbid. I don't know why it's not there. I know I've played it, right? It was there, but now when you look up Jamel Saladin, all this other stuff comes up. Actually, Bullets Gotti comes up, all this, not all the stuff I've been teaching about, right? Just utter nonsense comes up, right? A whole bunch of stuff with Behind the Bar. I'm like, yo, out of all the shows I do, actual talk about content, this is what YouTube, Google/YouTube decided to put out to the people, right? But it goes off of numbers too, because that type of nonsense generates big numbers. So what the algorithm is doing is saying, okay, this had thousands of numbers, 10,000 people watch it. Let me show them this. Bro, if you would stop hating on my other videos, acting like no one is interested, then my other videos will have just as much views. It doesn't matter. What matters is I was looking for my music and I couldn't find it. And I was upset and I just canceled the show. Like, yo, that's crazy. Anyway. Sorry, I'm looking for another song now. Oh, this song is called Build Your Own Heaven. Build Your Own Heaven by Jamel Saladin.
We yell change, revolutionary things. They unite when they hear it, it ignites in their spirit. I woke up ready to party, the image of God's body. Be the sun, moon, and star, they treat us like Anunnaki. But when you bottle up the Most High, and some oxys in a bow tie, but plans to free your people, we can free them all in no time. But use a bird with a bird's eye view of a God with a third eye, who brought himself to this continent. A billion years unimpressed with your accomplishments, sucker. You ain't worth my presence. How? You still thinking like a peasant? You got $1,000 belt yet? Where you living is infested with rat roaches, vandals, and crack smokers. Take their money that you flipping and invested in the business. That's like real simple intellect. The reaper coming, you was just getting into it. I mean, the dollar about to fall out. 52 blocks can't block corporate buyouts. Private prisons, you can save it for the jailhouse. Free cellies, you can brush up on your wheelhouse. Oh yes, you can. You can kick it like your man, right? You ain't king. Street fighting over things like Air Jordans, but no fight when we needed it for Sandra Bland, right? Just as I expected. A bunch of tired cats looking well rested. A bunch of complex chicks calling precious. I say screw 'em like my residence is Texas. Real answers never change with the question. The only question is the date of Armageddon. Never concerned where the priest said I'm headed, cause with my own hands I built my own heaven. See, I've changed my perception of how I see blessings. It's the simple things in life, not the shallowed out reflections. No, you hear what I'm saying, just listen to the message. You would recognize the one is changing up your whole method. And for the record, mass media is really mass deception. Mental warfare, behavioral genetics, drone warfare, biologic weapons. And you online for vintage 11s, writing lines where you killing off your brethren. You really something. That something is really misdirected.
Again, I did that song a while ago. I'm going to leave this time. I'm just trying to see what song I'm really going to leave on. And I'm about to put all these songs in the Discord anyway for you. I'm just gonna drop them in a zip file. So hopefully you guys know how to work the zip file. You just unzip it on your computer, whatever it is. Now, if I'm not gonna lie, Wheel of Fortune is probably one of my favorite albums, right? And I think I got like 16 songs on there. That's probably one of my favorite joints. Now I'm trying to think, do I play Meet the Royal Family, which I write about the black family and how important it is, right? Because I learned this from Chancellor Williams, who is the author of The Destruction of a Black Civilization, right? So when you remove the father from the home, it affects not only the home, but it affects the community. So I did write about that in a song called Meet the Royal Family. I don't know if that's how I want to leave this. No, right? I'm looking. I got 5 albums. Let me build. I really want to listen to Hotel Tonight, but it doesn't really fit what I'm talking about. So I know what I want to hear. I figured out what I want to hear, and I don't know where it is because it's not on here. That's why I'm having a hard time. I'm like, where the hell is this song? It's not on here. Give me a second. No, where's this song at? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. This is the song I want to listen to. It's called Saladin Goes to Brooklyn. And I wouldn't have known that, and y'all would have missed out on that song. So, all right, y'all. Now I'm ending my show with this song, Saladin Goes to Brooklyn. But I'm about to put all the albums, like 5 albums, in the Discord. So if you want the albums, they're over there for free. Just go get them. All right. Thanks. Have a blessed day. Saladin Goes to Brooklyn.
sounded strange in the beginning, to be honest, though that's on me. I never listened to wisdoms when they was giving jewels, dropping you get them. When moving, move through the rhythm. When shooting, make sure you hit them. I know it's complicated, I get it, I broke it, I never fixed it. It's deep, check the forensics with sleep. Woke up, was kidding. Nope, she wasn't with it, her tone was very dismissive. She said, baby, I'm grown, grow up and come back and get this. It took less than a minute, snap back, knew where it fitted, bugging. Came to my senses, I'm king, find me a throne or something special to sit in. I seen so many things, shockers, they started dimming, lost sight. Meditated, how nice, corrected my vision, hit a patch in the road, but nah, ain't even tripping. Let's get one thing straight, please, don't get it twisted. They laughed, they said you bad, my bad, had good intentions. You strange, that did slang, you squared, you didn't get it. I stared as I explained, I'm from a planet that's way more futuristic. Forgive me for thinking less like a human, more like a mystic. They switched, they said, nah baby, you sick, you need a clinic. Came close, they said, whatever you got, we trying to get it. I smiled, I said, whatever I start, I try to finish, and I'll show you how I did it. Just give me a couple minutes, it's free. And when I cost you a thing, nothing expensive. They said, that's really cool, just let us finish this Henny, that's cool, let me relax. And I started from the beginning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made by Him, and without Him was nothing made. As I hustle to find my foot and hear my grandpa don't do things you know I wouldn't, was a great man. He did things I probably couldn't, but see right there, he would say never say that you couldn't and I shouldn't and I won't no more. Comedic science, understanding you can walk through walls. They so defiant, turn their back just to block all doors. I'm clapping back, they say please bro, hold your applause. You really tripping cause you gotta know the whole world is yours. As it was written, wanna travel to the stars, gotta start with the inches and I'm coming through the door. Bet I'm blowing the hinges and I'm eating all the food I plate with all the fixings, and I got so many people to thank, too much to mention for all the years they showed me hate. They thought I missed it. If you ever looked God in the face, thought you was dreaming, seen a mirror, did a quick double take. Who am I seeing? Is it not written in your law? I said ye are gods.
Gods.